welcome. How you doing? I'm fired up today. I don't know why. I don't know whether it's because of the weather or what it is, or maybe it's just a good weekend. But good Monday to you. Brewers get a nice win yesterday, pound out some runs. I was excited about that. Over the weekend, I had a terrific event that I was kind of talking a little bit about it on Friday. It was in the Sherwood Forest Sportsman's Club, and they raised a lot of money for Fisher House, Wisconsin. Went on a long motorcycle ride yesterday. Just so much good. So much good. Had an enjoyable weekend. Ben, how was your weekend and your surprise visit back home?
Oh, it was good. Had a cheesesteak for the first time in a couple years, which really I didn't realize how much I missed it until I had it.
Yep.
But it was a lot of fun. It turned out, so Grant Bills, when we were on the morning show last week, almost ruined the surprise that I was going back for my dad's birthday.
Oh, okay.
He had said, Ben, have safe travels home. My dad turned on the show 2 minutes after he came off.
Is that
so
right?
We narrowly avoided it. So, but it was great. Great time.
Okay. Well, glad it all worked out. Dad was surprised then, correct?
He was.
Nice. So besides the surprise and the cheesesteak, anything else flare up the weekend?
My dad's a big mountain biker, so we did a long day of mountain biking on Saturday, and it kicked my ass. Like, it is so hard.
Yeah.
But I had to go through it. I couldn't say in the middle. It's like, hey, can we stop for a while? Like, I'm in considerable pain because he was just trucking through it. So
yeah.
We got through it. It was fun.
My excitement today, and I sent you a text because next Friday I'm going to have a procedure, and I'm waiting to hear what time, whether or not I'm going to be on the show on Thursday. I'm waiting to find out the time that they've got to schedule me for the pre-procedure. But they believe and I'm excited because I'm leaving on vacation here in a short, only a couple of weeks, but I'm excited because they have got two different things that they can do to my spinal cord and my leg. And they said that the recovery rate and getting the feeling back and not having the pain, they can estimate it about anywhere from 85 to 95% to fix it. And over what they saw via the MRI. So I'm ecstatic. Because if they can get rid of this in the next couple of weeks, I will be out of my damn mind because it'll just be that good. So for those who've been following along, I started having this pain about a month and a half ago, and it's gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. And everybody just said, go to a chiropractor or an acupuncturist. And so I didn't. I thought, well, I'll go to my doctor first. And sure enough, they discovered some things within my spine that weren't good. And rather than having this invasive surgery to try to go inside my spinal cord, they think they have this thing that this doctor does locally here that they can do some things to the nerves and kind of take some relief off my spine. And so I'm excited. I don't know what the hell they're going to do to me. I don't know if I'm a guinea pig. I don't care. If it fixes me, I'm good to go. Short of just taking drugs, because I've been on some pain meds and I can't take them during the day because I do the show. And they don't. Ben, you ever been on like heavy pain medication?
Once in my life.
Okay. Did it mess you up?
Yeah, it was actually when I was studying for finals my freshman year of college.
Oh boy.
So I had to take those to be able to like think clearly and not be in considerable pain. And naturally it made it hard to study and focus on stuff.
Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, this is the pain meds they have me on. They don't like mess me up like I'm drooling on myself, but they put me into a really soft-spoken, mellow state. It's just weird. So I take them at night, right before I go to bed. That way I can rest easy, and then I wake up, and by the time I'm ready to go on the air, for the most part, they've worn off. But then you've got the rest of the day to go about your business with not much medication in you. So anyway, the long story short is
so we can't get like a 20-minute 1 p.m. segment where you're just completely sleeshed off of whatever these are.
If I took it at 12:30, by 1 o'clock, I would be just like I just came out of the Poncha cleanse with Aaron Rodgers out in California on Malibu Beach. Yeah.
It'd be riveting radio.
Yeah,
Come
it
on.
would be. It would be. It would either that or just put you to sleep. One of the two. But yeah, that's not the best. Not the best. I'm not the sharpest tack in the floor to begin with, so to speak. So I need all I can get. I need every brain cell possibly working and all pulling the rope in the right direction. Otherwise, I'm a mess. So we'll see. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up, please feel free to go ahead and do so. You can find us over on, by the way, on Twitter, at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels, at Ben Z Kenny over on Twitter as well. You can find us on the Facebook fan page. Go to facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show. Watch the show there. You can find us on YouTube. YouTube, we are continuing to add subscribers. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. And hint, hint, for those of you in Wausau, you need to download the app and also begin to subscribe over on YouTube. We'll get into that later this month. But go to youtube.com. That's youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show and just click subscribe. And follow us over on the Facebook fan page as well. It's a great way to stay in touch. Also on Twitch TV, and email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. thebillmichaels@gmail.com. You can also find us at thebillmichaels.com. So plenty of ways to follow the program. Brewers get a couple of wins over the weekend. Are the Brewers back on the right track? Are the Brewers back on the right track? Think about it this way. They have won 7 of their last 9. 7 of their last 9. They beat the Reds, swept the Reds, beat the Cardinals 2 out of 4, and then beat the Blue Jays 2 out of 3. The Blue Jays aren't a bad team. I mean, obviously, they're back in the American League East, but it's because the Yankees are running away with it. They've got a record over 500, so it wasn't a bad weekend when it comes to beating teams, beating a decent team. So you split with the Cardinals. You won the series against the Blue Jays. You swept the series against a bad Reds team. Are the Brewers back? Are the Brewers back? 877-867-1670. That bump in the road where they hit the skids and it just didn't look good. And you thought, oh boy, it's not happening. It's not here comes the train barreling down the tracks and whoop, off the tracks, down the corridor, and into the water it went. No. Have they put the train back on the tracks? 877-867-1670. Ben, you tell me, do you feel better about where the Brewers are at right now?
So I felt good even going into last week. I think after, it's impossible to not feel better than wherever you were at going into that 7-game stretch. Yeah, going 4-3 with the context. They had Chichi Gonzalez and Jason Alexander start 3 games, and they won 2 of them, which is the crazy part. So yeah, I feel good. Woodruff's coming back this week. If he can look like he was, say, before the injury or even last year, I'll feel better. But Yelich at leadoff continues to really do wonders for the offense. I'm in a good spot. I'm not going to go back to the NL Central favorite until I see this rotation shake out and get healthy and look better. But I definitely feel better than where we were at last month.
Brewers are on the road beginning tonight. Tropicana Field. Or not tonight, tomorrow. Tomorrow. They're off today. Back at it tomorrow, taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. Tampa Bay, by the way, the Lightning, no longer the reigning NHL champions. Congratulations to the Colorado Avalanche, the team that we picked to win it. And damned if they didn't. And for the 3rd time in that franchise's history, they are hoisting Lord Stanley's Cup. So good stuff there. Yeah, I am not going to – I still think they're going to win the division. I just do. I just think even through all the adversity, there's still a game up on St. Louis. And so I believe they're going to win the division. Whether or not they're back and capable of winning a championship, I'm still kind of hedging my bets a little bit on that one. I still think the team to beat's going to be the Dodgers by the time it's all said and done. But I feel a lot better about where this team is at right now. I watched yesterday on Baseball Tonight as they were breaking down Josh Hader. They were breaking down Corbin Burns. They were talking about the Brewers pitching staff. They were talking about the ERA. all that kind of stuff. And the way the team has kind of fluctuated and moving different pieces in and out of the starting rotation, in and out of the pen, the injuries they've dealt with. And by the time they put it all together, I was kind of like, oh, okay. This team really, what I saw, you know what's really good is when you see a team do something and you're like, you know what? It just looks like this to me. And maybe it is, maybe it isn't, whatever. And then your eyeball test is verified by the statistics. And you're kind of like, okay, what I'm seeing, I'm not an idiot. I'm not a homer. I'm not somebody that's wearing the blue and gold glasses. What I'm seeing is actually real. I think the team is really good. I think the team is way above average. Do I think they're the best team in the National League? No. But again, all you got to do in the postseason, you got to be good. You got to be hot. You got to be healthy, and you got to have some luck. And to win it, you got to get in it. And so I'm thinking the Brewers are still one of those teams that have a really legitimate shot at getting to a World Series, but I think it's still going to run through LA. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Rick says over on the Bud Light live stream, he said, get your boat on the water, or was it too windy? No, Rick, I went to get it. And I had Kathy, who runs the service department over there, her and Ryan. Kathy said, Bill, and whenever you get that, Bill, you know something's wrong, because it's a brand new engine and it's an older boat. And by that, I only mean like 7 years old. Some of the bracketing didn't match up perfectly. So they had to they custom cut the bracketing to fit the new engine. But in doing so, one of the brackets had to be moved, and then they ended up screwing up a power steering hose. So they're finishing it up today. And it was windy yesterday. I'll tell you this, riding the motorcycle, man, some of the wind gusts, you're kind of like leaning. You're leaning over trying to keep the, kind of balancing your weight to keep the bike up. Because yesterday, those 25 plus mile an hour wind gusts, man, they punched you. Rode up to Road America yesterday just to ride around. Stopped off at a couple of different places along the way. Well, I was over by Big Cedar Lake, which was kind of cool in that area. Coming back down Highland and such, and then got into Slinger and over by the Speedway and Little Switzerland and rode the back streets. And there's a new bar that opened on 164, a little bar restaurant out in, I think it's Pleasant Prairie or something like that. I can't remember what the name of the actual area is, but a little tiny area. It was a historical building that they built and added on to, but they had to keep so much history of the building. So they kept the tin copper roof and ceiling on the inside and kept the building a lot the same. Really cool. Stopped in there and wanted to support that business. So had a really good weekend in that sense. Really good weekend in that sense. Good stuff. 877-867-1670. So do you feel the Brewers are back on track? Not even 100% healthy. Do you feel the Brewers are back on track? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. This portion of the program, as always, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network and the official beer sponsor of Wednesday Night Live out at the Wisconsin State Fair Park. Coming up again this Wednesday night. Gates open up at 6. Doors open, or music begins at 7. It's $10 for a car, free admission, free for motorcycles, all that kind of good stuff. And it looks like the weather on Wednesday night is going to be spectacular. See you out there at the Wisconsin State Fair Park and the Budweiser Pavilion coming up this Wednesday night, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Stay tuned. We have got more of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Thunder is back, and you don't want to miss it. June 30th through July 3rd. It's the NASCAR Cup Quick Trip 250 and the Xfinity Series Henry 180. For tickets, go to roadamerica.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
So we're going with Slider. Tellez, center field, he's watching. This one's Rowdy Tellez gets them on their feet quickly here today. Rowdy in the right, that ball got some carry, and it's gone. It hit the top of the wall.
It's a day where, I think the offense really picked us up and gave us a great cushion. And then it was, up and down the lineup. Obviously, Rowdy had the big day, but up and down the lineup, a lot of guys did good things. And where they carried us today, and they made the pitchers' jobs, much easier today.
Welcome back, Rowdy Tellez, showing off a little squash as he sent a couple of them over the fence over the weekend. Nice. Good weekend. Offensively, as Craig Counsell alluded to, it was good that the offense picked up the pitching when the pitching wasn't great. It wasn't, awful, but it wasn't perfect. And this pitching staff at times throughout the season has needed to be perfect. And since they weren't, it was nice to see the offense show a little bit of a power surge. Good stuff. And the Brewers get 2 out of 3 off today. Back at it again tomorrow, as we had mentioned. This time they're down in Tampa Bay. After the ball game yesterday, Craig Counsell, he said, liked what the bullpen did after Gonzalez.
It was good to get a couple guys back today and get them out there. And so Gustave and Trevor, who we think can really solidify the middle of the games, kind of demonstrated that today. And again, a game like that where you create a lead, you keep that lead going into the later innings. I think that's what those guys are here to do. And they did a fabulous job of the day. And so glad to have them back.
Also, he says, look, Rowdy Tellez's home runs, that one in the first, really, you talk about the grand scheme of things, got him back in the game.
But it just puts you right back in the game. So Rowdy's homer just puts us right back there, and it's a ball game. And then Chichi was good. He was good for 3 innings and got us to a good point that we felt with a rested bullpen that we could be a little aggressive with the guys. And they all did a great job. So, but the offense was the story today, and they were awesome.
And as Counsell said there, as we came into this segment of the program, he said, look, on a day that the pitching's not perfect, which is fine, when you've got the offense, it's able to carry you.
It's a day where, I think the offense really picked us up and gave us a great cushion. And it was, up and down the lineup. Obviously, Rowdy had the big day, but up and down the lineup, a lot of guys did good things. And where they carried us today, and they made the pitchers' jobs, much easier today.
And then Craig Counsell says, last but not least, that they never let the Blue Jays starter Jose Berrios get comfortable in that contest yesterday.
We kind of kept Berrios just on the ropes. We never let him up, and we made it tough. He never felt he got going until we had 8 runs on the board, and he got going a little bit in the 3rd inning. But that's what today felt like. We just made it tough on him, and it's frustrating on a pitch when you lay a great bunt down, when you steal some bases. Yeah, it's frustrating. So
there you have it. Good stuff from the Brewers. Brewers get a couple of wins over the weekend. Nice. They have now won, 6 of their last 9. They feel like they're in a better position. They're a game back up on St. Louis. Things seem to be trending in the right direction. Mike says, I cut the cable in March, so I've only seen a couple of Brewers games on TV. I wish they would stop showing the home run leaderboard and have a runners in scoring position batting average board instead. Good point, Mike. They do put it up every now and then. They put up batting with runners in scoring position either when the team's doing really well or when the team's struggling mightily. One of the two. Usually, otherwise, you'll never get that statistic. But if you go through 3 or 4 or 8 or whatever games it is, and you're only hitting, say, 162 or something like that with runners in scoring position, they'll put it up and they'll go, boy, the Brewers are just struggling with runners in scoring position. Or they'll say, oh, my God, look what the Brewers are doing with runners in scoring position. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen that much. Mark says, I radioed it yesterday. What a fun game to listen to. I had a little bit of it on the motorcycle. We stopped in Linden's Inn or something like that over on Cedar Creek, Big Cedar Creek, Big Cedar Lake. Stopped in there and watched some of the game yesterday. Had 1 margarita and a bunch of water because I was on the bike and I don't really drink when I'm on the bike. So we did the 1 margarita, which was I did a half a shot, and Kristen, had a margarita or 2. But we sat and watched the game yesterday. Out on their deck, which was beautiful, overlooking Big Cedar Lake. But just sat and watched it, just enjoyed the day. It was an enjoyable day yesterday. Whether you radioed it or whether you watched the game, it was an enjoyable day. It was beautiful weather yesterday. Rick says, I think the Brewers are the team we thought they were, a good team, just not a great one. They'll make it to the playoffs, but I have my doubts that they're going to make it more than a series, just not enough consistency to make the NLCS. That's kind of where I'm at, Rick. You and I are right there in agreement on that one. Very much. Thomas says, good morning, unit. Good morning to you, Thomas. They looked a hell of a lot better in this 10 laps, Mark said. Meaning basically, the last 10 games have been decent. Rode back from Green Bay. Winds were wild on the Harley. Dennis, right? I got you, man. I got you. Lloyd says, feel the Brewers are on a good track again, and it's going to be nice getting Wong and Woodruff back. If they could just find a way to be half decent from hitting with runners in scoring position, they'd nearly be unstoppable. 100% agree. 100% agree. And by the way, thanks for chiming in on the Bud Light live stream. Love it. And Ronald says, unsure yet, but would feel a lot better if they could somehow get the injury bug under control. Ronald, you're damn straight there. Damn straight. And then Brian says, I was at the game yesterday. I have to say, I was really happy to see the aggressive base running and the bunt from Jace. Forgot about that. We even talked about that. They dropped one down yesterday. I wish we could see more of that. We scored 5 runs that inning, and that started it off after the double to lead it off. Sometimes you just move a runner over when things go right. Okay. And you'll know that, Brian, back me up on this. You were there. When things go right and you drop down a bunt, you move a runner over and it's executed perfectly. This area, Brewers fans are smart fans. You know it when you see it, right? You look at it and go, whoa, that was a perfectly executed play. Yes, it results in an out, or yes, it results in a sacrifice, whatever. But what they did was move a runner within scoring position, bring a runner over, hit for a base, drop one down for a base, or whatever it is. You understand and appreciate that. And there's an energy to that. Baseball doesn't get a lot of juice. It doesn't get a lot of energy because while it's a team sport, it's really a one-on-one until the ball is put into play. So every time an at-bat comes up and you get a little juice and you get another guy going and the crowd gets a little louder and the pitcher gets a little more shaky and starts to think about it a little bit too much and the batter gets a little more confident, there's a matriculation there. And you can't put your finger on it. You can't understand the electrical aspect of that, but you just know, you know it when you're a part of it because it drives people that get into the WAR and the sabermetrics and all the different in the OPS. It drives them freaking bat crap crazy because you can't explain it. Just there's a day, there's an energy, there's a feel, there's a motion, whatever it happens to be, it just works when it all works right. And sometimes when you do the little things and there's an appreciation from the fan base to say, that's the way it's supposed to look. You can actually feel it. You can see it. It's tangible, but you can't it's kind of like air. You can't put a price on it, but you know you need it, you know? So it's kind of that sense. I agree with you. When you drop down a bunt, when you do it correctly, when you do it, and not to say that you have to do it all the time. That's not it. But basically when it's there, it's there. You know? When it's there, it's there. And when you can break the shift and you can beat it, that's the best thing, man. It just is. That's the best. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Hit us up. Feel free to go ahead and do so. This one's comes from Val. Val says, much like Elvis, every now and then I hear a song pop up, and it reminds me of good times. When I hear Euchre call a game and it's a successful game, it reminds me of good times and a lot of good times yet to come. Val, appreciate the email. Love it. Love it. Good stuff. 877-867-1670. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. A lot of good rides coming up and a lot of motorcycling to do and a lot of bikes on the showroom floor and a lot of opportunities for you, either one, to learn to ride, maybe enhance your riding, or in addition to that, pick up some motor clothes, get registered for our ride, whatever it happens to be, get parts, service, maybe an oil change, whatever you need, they've got it. Go see my buddy Craig. Go to wishd.com, and I have been told that right before our ride, and this is, I believe it is on September, it's going to take place in September, right before our ride, on Friday, September 2nd, on this show, we're going to have Mike, the drummer from Disturbed, and Jesse James Dupree from Jackal on the show at the same time in person. Put your calendar and set it up for that. That's going to be badass. Disturbed, by the way, playing next weekend at Summerfest, playing the main stage, which will be nice. So anyway, go to wishd.com. That is wishd.com. Wishd.com. And you can see for yourself everything they have to offer. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
One of the worst things that you can hear, you have cancer. The worst is when you hear the words, your child has cancer. When a child is diagnosed with cancer, it changes their world. Sometimes they can't even do things that they really love, like playing soccer, riding a bike, going to prom, attending school. Children with cancer spend a lot of time away from others. Time in the hospital, treatments, tired, nauseous, and they feel isolated. That's where Special Spaces Wisconsin steps in. They provide these children with a special space where they can not only sleep, but they can play, they can heal, they can spend time away from the challenges of their illness. It's a customized bedroom designed just for them. How about a princess castle or pirate ship or a sports-themed bedroom? They transform that child's existing bedroom into a place that only he or she can imagine. A place for them just to be a kid. This effort is done with teams of dedicated volunteers and sponsors, just like our friends from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and all the community partners. If you'd like to find out more or to donate, go to specialspaces.org. That is specialspaces.org.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Coming up on Sunday, September 4th, let's ride. Let's get this thing going. We are going to be riding for Fisher House, Wisconsin for military members, veterans, and their families. And it's our 15th anniversary poker run. And this is going to be the biggest. Knock on wood, the weather's good, but we are going to have a great time. And it's going to begin at Milwaukee Brewing, going to end up out at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. The stops in between are the Rock Complex, the famous Alpine Valley, and then we're heading to Knuckleheads and Eagle. And then from there to Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, we have all kinds of great stuff planned. I know that there's going to be some special stuff at the beginning. The brewery's going to be open for brewery tours. The rooftop's going to be open for pictures. The national anthem. We're going to have, obviously, the escorted ride out of downtown. Shutting down parts of the highway. I mean, it's going to be spectacular, and we want you to be a part of it. It's only $25. And if you pre-register, you are also in the drawing for some really great ticket packages. We're giving away 4 of them only for those who pre-register. All of them are valued anywhere between $750 and $1,000. There's Bucks tickets, Brewers tickets, Badgers tickets. There's a racing package from Road America. There's all kinds of good stuff in this thing. Some Admirals tickets in there as well, packaged up. Only for those who pre-register. So if you go and check it out, if you follow us on Facebook, go to facebook.com/Big Unit Poker Run, and right off to the side of the page is the link to pre-register. And it's $25 a bike. But if you pre-register and have a second person, like a rider, you can pre-register them and get $10 off. Otherwise, it's just a flat out $25 a person the day of. But we're doing it, and we're riding for veterans, military members, and their families. We're going to have Hairball, which, if you know Hairball, the band, they're playing our after party. That's huge. Rebel Grace is going to be on the south stage. Hairball is going to be on the north stage later that night. We've got our friends from Potawatomi Hotel Casino who have jumped on board and said, we want to be a part of this. They're sending us dealers. We're actually going to have professional dealers at the end of the ride dealing the poker hands, which is really, really cool. And in addition to that, we can't do it without our friends from Growth Law Firm, GROTH, growthlaw.com. They are bikers. They protect bikers. They're one of the best biker rights law firms in the country. Top 20. And please, if you can support anybody and you need them, they're there for you. Support them. Turn to them. And also our friends from Great Lakes Dragaway, which I heard was great over the weekend because the weather was really good yesterday. And they had a spectacular runs over the weekend. Even Saturday, it didn't rain real hard or for very long. So Saturday was a good day as well. Go to GreatLakesDragaway.com. That's GreatLakesDragaway.com or GrowthLaw.com. And don't forget about our friends at Potawatomi Hotel Casino. Fantastic stuff. So there you go. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Give us a shout, 877-867-1670. Hit us up. We would love to have you on board, as always. Brian says, my friend and I, when we were talking about bunting just a little while ago, my friend and I were saying, wish it would happen more. I don't.
It's one of those days, Bill.
Yeah, I get it, because when it works, it's great. It's awesome. But when it doesn't, or it doesn't produce the run, or doesn't move the runner over properly, or you can't capitalize on it, it's wasted. And then, you don't look at it the same. It's don't get me wrong. Look, I would love to see it happen a little bit more too. But when the team's hitting, let the team hit. Let them eat. Let them eat. It has to be strategically placed correctly. You can't just bunt to bunt, right? There are certain times you should beat the shift, drop one down, gets people going, gets a place going nuts. Because every time you're going to shift, I'm going to do this. I'm going to drop it down. Talk to you later. If you are somebody who consistently gets the shift put on, like, wouldn't you love to see, Ben, like Rowdy Tellez, be able to just punch one down to third base line?
Bunting or hitting?
Bunting.
Honestly,
just punch it, because they always shift on him. Wouldn't you just love to see Rowdy just punch one down the line just to keep a team honest? Say, hey, look, now granted, it takes away the power aspect, because if he gets into one, good night, sweet prince. But I would just love, I even saw Albert Pujols do it once back in his heyday. as people were starting to shift a little bit against him. I would love to see him just do it once. Don't you think a guy of Rowdy Tellez's size punching one down the line for a base hit, the place would go ape butt. I mean, it would go crazy because look at Rowdy just tug one out. You know what I mean? That'd be fantastic. That'd be great. I know people want to see Rowdy belted out of the park. He's probably not the best example, but I'm still saying if you see it executed on the shift and Rowdy gets down the first base line and there's nobody there to cover it, nobody, because everybody and their brother's in the shift because they know where he's going with it, but yet he perfects it to where he punches it down the line and says, I'm going to keep you honest. I'd love that. I'd love it. 877-867-1670. Who should be busting up the shift with a bunt? Now, we know since he's leading off, you could always do it with Christian Yelich. But who else? Who else should be busting it up? I think any place, any time. Myself. I don't have a problem with it at any point. If you can bust it up, bust it up. Break up the shift. Or if it means moving a runner over and sacrificing, do that too. I'm good with that. You just don't do it all the time. Just saying. Just don't do it all the time. This one's from Craig, who says, big weekend this past weekend. Loved going to the game a couple of times and seeing the Brewers get 2 back-to-back wins. Great Father's Day gift from my kids for this particular series. My aunt is from Toronto. She was in town, so got a chance to go see it. Good to see the Brewers get the win. Bad day for the aunt. There you go. Craig, appreciate the email. Appreciate it. Barb says, was at the game this weekend. Electric atmosphere. Love going to Brewers games. It seems like the energy is back. Okay. What else do we have here? Anything else on the Brewers before I get into other stuff?
I think it should be noted that the uniforms were awesome and look great.
They were a hit.
And I would like to see them on more random Sundays. Just throw more powder blue in there. I love it.
You want to see that uniform or you want to see others?
That specifically or others, something a little different. I like when teams bring out a powder blue on a home Sunday.
I don't know if I'm a fan of the powder blue. But if they want to throw something else out, what other color would you like to see? You know, what other color would you like to see?
I'm a big fan of the use of alternate jerseys. I don't have many ideas specifically in my mind, but I kind of like when teams go into, series and they have different jerseys coming each day.
David says, what about reversing it, going with the gold over the, I don't know if I can go gold jersey.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. David, no. I don't think I can do that.
The only thing more unbearable with watching those jerseys would be watching Rowdy Tellez try to bunt.
Come on. Wouldn't you like to see Rowdy just drop one down, watch that place go nuts? I would. I'm not saying it has to happen all the time. Just give me one. Just give me one. Give me one. Just get the place going nuts. Seeing Rowdy, hauling that beer wagon down to first. That'd be awesome. I'd love that.
I'll agree to disagree.
Okay.
I just like.
Oh, God. Sharon says, ooh, yes, yellow. That's all we need. That would be the ugliest thing ever. Maybe we could call it gold, not a yellow. If you're looking at those ugly uniforms. What were you going to say, Ben, real quick?
Just like with this whole bunt thing, like it was a great bunt. It was a great play, but I don't want it to get caught up in the fact that Rowdy Tellez went deep twice. The team hit the baseball. It's not like they scored 10 runs because Jace Peterson had a successful bunt. Like, that was a great play, but they didn't suddenly explode offensively because he was able to lay down a bunt and move a guy over to third and reach safely. No, it's because Tellez homered twice. Adames had 3 hits. They just hit the hell out of the baseball. I just don't want them to be confused with each other.
Oh, we've got kind of crossing over into the sports world. We've got some breaking news. when we come back. It's a little bit of a crossover, and I thought it was an interesting story. I didn't really want to get too deep into it, but the ruling has come down. So I want to get into this just a bit, but we've got some breaking news when we come back. Stay tuned. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's all coming up, and it's coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
One of the worst things that you can hear, you have cancer. The worst is when you hear the words, your child has cancer. When a child is diagnosed with cancer, it changes their world. Sometimes they can't even do things that they really love, like playing soccer, riding a bike, going to prom, attending school. Children with cancer spend a lot of time away from others, time in the hospital, treatments, tired, nauseous, and they feel isolated. That's where Special Spaces Wisconsin steps in. They provide these children with a special space where they can not only sleep, but they can play, they can heal, they can spend time away from the challenges of their illness. It's a customized bedroom designed just for them. How about a princess castle or pirate ship or a sports-themed bedroom? They transform that child's existing bedroom into a place that only he or she can imagine, a place for them just to be a kid. This effort is done with teams of dedicated volunteers and sponsors, just like our friends from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and all the community partners. If you'd like to find out more or to donate, go to specialspaces.org. That is specialspaces.org.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Glad to have you. Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Over the weekend, I was getting ready to use the motorcycle, and I had a bird that got stuck in my garage. I didn't know that. I left the garage door open. I did a couple things outside. I came back. I closed the garage door. The next day, the bird was stuck inside. I guess, in a panic because the bird couldn't get out. As a matter of fact, I think it was a mother bird because she was trying to build a nest up in the corner of my garage. Anyway, long story short, she got nervous, started flying around the garage. And when the birds get nervous, they poop, and apparently pooped all over my motorcycle. And as I put I didn't realize it at first. I put the motorcycle outside. It was in the sun. Stuff starts to bake on. One of the things that I had done, and I've been telling you about this, is I used the product called Wabam. And they've got two different products. One is called Blast, which is a cleaner, and another one's called Whiplash. And the Whiplash basically is a coating, and you put it on your fairing or on your paint or whatever, and stuff falls off. So I used the Wabam Blast cleaner because I'm like, oh my God, it was everywhere. It was like the bird ate real chili or something. Holy mackerel. And I sprayed the Blast on there. I went inside. I left it sit for about, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, something like that. I came out, just took a rag, everything just wiped right off. No stains, no nothing. It was perfect. I've been telling you about Wabam for a while now, whether it's the scrubby cleaning wipes or it's the Blast or the Whiplash or the new ceramic coatings, whatever it is, Wabam. Go to getwabam.com. That is getwabam.com. WABAM. Go to getwabam.com. And you can see all their products. They're based here in Wisconsin. They'll get it to you right away, ship it out to you. And my buddy Ryan Stefano, also one of the race car drivers for the Wabam car that is seen throughout the state. Use them. Go to getwabam.com. That is getwabam, WABAM, getwabam.com. Brian says, I agree. Don't bunt all the time, but I would like to see some stuff like what Corey Hart and Ricky Weeks would do. And that was some drag bunts from years ago. So there you have it. So in case you didn't know, there was a high school football coach. Now we know, I don't want to get off on the tangent of Roe versus Wade. Okay. But we know that there were some other court hearings to be heard in the United States Supreme Court. And one of them was a football coach from Washington State. He, by himself, after the game, went over to an area. He knelt down on one knee and said a prayer. He was fired for that, for kneeling down and saying a prayer. He was fired for that. His case went through the court system and was bounced up to the United States Supreme Court. The court has, because he sued the school district, the high school, and everything for all of this. The Supreme Court has now ended they're ending their session, and they wanted to get some rulings on this before they ended their session to go away for the summer. The Supreme Court has sided with the high school coach who sought to kneel and pray on the field by himself after a game. The ruling of 6-3 on the ideological lines, the justices said that the coach's prayer was protected by the First Amendment. There you go. There you go. Just an FYI, which look, I get it. People get all bent out of shape about prayer and all that kind of stuff. I grew up in a system where we did team prayer before every game. I understand all of that. But if a guy's off by himself, just because he says a quick prayer, takes a quick knee and says, thank you or whatever he says in his prayer. Why are we getting bent out of shape about this? Why are people losing their jobs? That I don't understand. So anyway, the Supreme Court has ruled, like, look, he didn't organize anything. He didn't do anything wrong. And, you see it all the time in pro sports too. Guys come across the plate, they point to the sky. I saw it at the College World Series. It's like, look, if it's individual and it's a moment of, your own thing and you're not organizing it, it is what it is. So The Supreme Court sided with him. So now that that case moves on back to that, I would assume his lawsuit now continues, and you see what happens from there. But that was a kind of a sports crossover type of thing today that just broke a little while ago. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Best weekend ever, Bruce says. Saturday and Sunday, I sat back for the first time all season long and had a chance to watch the game. I had changed providers, caught my Brewers at home. I sat back, I drank some coffee, I drank some beers, I pet my dog, and the Brewers got 2 wins. You know, Bruce, if you are the reason now, superstitiously, if you are the reason they won, you have to do that for every game until they lose. You realize that, right? So if you're drinking coffee, drink coffee. If you're petting your dog during the win, you pet your dog during the win. You don't F with a streak, man. Just saying. Don't mess it up. As long as you're winning, you keep doing the same thing. It's not until they lose that you go off and do something else. Just throwing it out there. Just saying. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. I'm throwing it out there. Don't get crazy. Don't get crazy. Randy says he agrees. Randy says 100%. As stated in Bull Durham, if you're on a streak, you don't F with the streak. Only he says you should know that, pointing it out to Susan Sarandon. Oh, we got 1 hour down. We got 3 more yet to go. Loving life today. Beautiful day today. Hey, don't forget to say hi to my buddy Lyle. J&L Tire Service. They're right there off of 94 in Johnson Creek, just north. I'm going to have the boat out there tomorrow. Going to go get the axle packed and greased, get some new tires on the trailer, getting ready for the trip. Can't wait. So if you're out that way, I'll see you out that way tomorrow at some point in time between shows, because I'm going to get the boat out there. Yeah, they do trailer work as well. Don't forget about them, jnltire.com. That's jnltire.com. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Chalk it up as a series win for the Milwaukee Brewers over the Toronto Blue Jays, as yesterday at American Family Field, things did not get off to a good start for Brewers starting pitcher Chichi Gonzalez. He would give up 3 runs in the first inning, but the crew would answer in a big way over the next 2, as Rowdy Tellez would drill a 2-run shot in the bottom of the first, as the Brewers would score 4 more runs in the second before Tellez capped the inning off with his second 2-run shot, as Milwaukee would eventually win 10-3. Here's more from manager Craig Counsell.
It's a day where, I think the offense really picked us up and gave us a great cushion. And it was, up and down the lineup. Obviously, Rowdy had the big day, but up and down the lineup, a lot of guys did good things. And where they carried us today, and they made the pitchers' jobs, much easier today.
Sitting at 42-33 on the year, the Brewers are 1 game ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals for first place in the NL Central. They have today off before heading to Tampa to take on the Rays.
Want to save even more at Fleet Farm? Well, now you can with Fleet Rewards. It's free to sign up, and there's no credit card required. Using Fleet Rewards is easy. Earn points every time you shop. Plus, get exclusive member offers, birthday and anniversary perks, free tire rotations, and more. Download the Fleet Farm app or create an account at fleetfarm.com/rewards to start earning points today. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
Wisconsin football has gone to Illinois again to beef up its 2023 recruiting class. 3-star nose tackle Jamel Howard had made his announcement yesterday on Instagram. Howard is ranked as the 26th best player in Illinois and the 132nd best defensive lineman in the country. He chose the Badgers over 11 schools, including Illinois and Iowa State. And finally, out of Wisconsin basketball, the Badgers will host Wake Forest in the 2022 ACC Big Ten Challenge. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome in, one and all. We are glad you're with us today. Beautiful Monday. The 27th of June. I can't even believe that we are a week away from July 4th. Holy mackerel. June has been a weird weather month because normally it's once you get into the third week of June, it's pretty much perfect all the way through. And we've had up and down. Yesterday was a little bit on the cooler side, if you want to say 72, 73, but really strong winds yesterday and such. And, today is picture perfect and it's going to get hotter throughout the weekend. But now you got Summerfest, just a little bit of rain over the weekend. It didn't really dampen what Summerfest had going on. The 3 weekends in a row is a little goofy, but okay. So be it. I guess we'll get used to it. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Burn Pit Barbecue. Go to burnpitbbq.com. That is burnpitbbq.com. Sauces, rubs, hot sauces, veteran-owned, and right here in the state of Wisconsin. If you want to check it out, go to burnpitbbq.com. That is burnpitbbq.com. Good people over there. Today, in case you did not know, and I saw it over on Twitter, today, 9 years ago today, and it's all worked out. 9 years ago today, Giannis was drafted. Remember that day? Ben, do you remember that at all?
I remember it, maybe for slightly different reasons.
Why is that?
It was back when I was living somewhere else. That was the Michael Carter Williams draft for us in Philadelphia.
Gotcha. Okay.
What was your first thought when the Bucks picked Giannis?
The only reason I have a different view of that is because at the time, remember, John Hammond was the general manager. And I had seen John down at Calderon Club, and because a lot of the guys eat down there. So I saw John down there, and this was a while ago. And we were talking about, talents up and coming. And he said that there was a couple of different guys that he kind of looked at, and he said, there's this kid out of Greece. He said, man, it's just really impressive. And he called him Giannis, but he didn't really pronounce his last name the way we pronounce it today. Kumpo. I mean, he was like struggling with it. And I'll never forget the conversation. And John said, it's a kid, pretty interesting. And it wasn't like he said they were going to take him, but you could clearly tell that he was enamored with him. And the one thing that he had said about him is, he said, there is no glass ceiling. This kid has no ceiling. It's just forever. He's that good. And I thought, oh, okay. Because you don't get that from general managers very much. You don't get that insight. General managers want to keep everything close to the vest. And I never, and I had seen John numerous times. So we would have these off-the-cuff conversations. And it was information for myself. I was the same when Mike Sherman used to do the same thing. I used to get a chance to talk to Mike Sherman outside Lambeau Field, and we would talk. And there's just some things you don't reveal, but what you do is when things begin to happen, then at least you have the knowledge to say, okay, this is the reason they did what they did, or the way they feel, how they feel. So John Hammond had kind of given me a couple of times indications that they really liked this kid. So when the draft came about and they chose him, I'm like, okay. Now he liked him much better than even he had led on. So when I had John on the air, I was asking him about it, and he started to tell me a little bit more about this kid named Giannis and about how impressive he was and how they can put muscle on him and change his physique, and his growth plate was still showed the availability for more growth in his maturity. And I'm like, okay, now I get it. Because that was the thing. Giannis, when he was drafted, I think he was like 6'9", 6'10" is what they labeled him at. Now he's over 7 foot, so he grew a couple more inches by the time that as they had thought he would. So, yeah, it was when I drafted him, I was kind of like, okay, I hope he pans out. Because we had seen this before. Because it was Yang Liang, the guy from China that they picked up. And he was supposed to be this growth guy, and he was going to come in and be this challenger in the middle. And he just never really panned out to be anything more than what he was. and never grew. So you always come into it, anytime it's an NBA draft, you always look at it with a lot of skepticism because you just never know where the next superstar is going to show up. But I'll say this, I didn't think, in John Hammond, thank God for John Hammond to have that insight, but to take that 18-year-old skinny kid from Greece with the 15th overall pick. But I did not think, I'll admit, I didn't think Giannis had this in him when they brought him in. And then when you get a chance to know the backstory about how John Hammond basically had to become kind of a father figure. And then the Bucks stepped up. They did the right thing. They brought his family in. They were housing his family and making sure that he was okay. Because Giannis was pretty homesick when he was first drafted. And John had to really become a father figure to him and sit with him almost on a daily basis. And between John and Jason Kidd, and they took him places and got him dinners and had a lot of deep, long conversations with him, and just to keep him happy. Because there was at one point, I think he wanted to leave, said, just, this isn't going to be for me, but wanted to leave. But yeah, 9 years ago today, Giannis comes into the fold. So there you go. Does that give you a little better insight?
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody. I feel like everyone chiming in has said the same thing. When he was first picked, everyone said, who?
Yeah.
Like they did what? And then many also thought, oh, he'll probably never end up playing.
Right.
Like many of the European, picks that end up not coming over to the NBA. So yeah, it's interesting.
Yep. Absolutely correct. You just never thought that he would get like this. It was, just never thought it would be this big. I mean, you thought, well, maybe he's got this shot at being this, inside player, but could he be like a Dirk Nowitzki and be that kind of a provider at that size and what have you? And just never thought of this. But yeah, 18-year-old skinny kid from Greece, 15th overall pick, 2013 NBA draft. And now look where we are today. Giannis led this team to a championship, and they've been right there via the postseason pretty much over the last 5-6 years, and we've just watched his development. So it's been impressive. It's been impressive.
What's funny about that draft is, I mean, really nobody panned out except for C.J. McCollum in Portland.
Mm-hmm, right.
Maybe throw in Oladipo. He's been solid, but that was Anthony Bennett who ended up doing nothing. You have Cody Zeller, Otto Porter, Alex Len, Nerlens Noel. Like most of those guys,
Nerlens Noel. Well, you talk about
didn't become players.
Oh man, talk about a bust. Nerlens Noel. Oh my goodness. Everybody thought that he was just going to be the end all be all, and it just never saw it happen.
Bucks legend Tony Snell went later in that draft.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up, feel free to go ahead and do so again. 877-867-1670. Speaking of things that are happening in the world of the NBA, sources are saying Kyrie Irving has requested and received permission from the Nets to find a sign-and trade offer from another team. Kevin Durant still hasn't spoken to the Nets front office yet. Russell Westbrook to Brooklyn remains unlikely, as they are saying. This is from Christian Winfield. Christian Winfield covering the Brooklyn Nets, but covered the Nets and the NBA. So Kyrie wanting out. Where is Kyrie going to be happy? Where's Kyrie going to be happy? That's what I'd like to know. Kyrie's unhappy everywhere he goes. Everywhere he goes.
You know, one team I saw thrown out there that would make for tremendous television? The Lakers.
Oh, I've seen the Lakers talked about that a couple of times. Billy says, what about bringing him to the Bucks? He would be the missing piece. No.
Yes.
No. If you could just get his talent, yes. But unfortunately, he comes as a package. It's funny because the Bleacher Report says people very close to the situation believe Kyrie Irving trying to join the Lakers. LeBron says he's open to the possibility. Who gives two S's about what LeBron says? If you're the Lakers, do you still have to kiss his ass? LeBron's a good player, but he's not the way he was a decade ago. Let's be honest. Still hard. Don't get me wrong. Don't act like I'm bashing LeBron. But LeBron is not winning it by himself anymore. LeBron can't put that team by himself anymore in the postseason. So LeBron needs help. Never admit it, but he needs help. Do we look at LeBron's legacy? Suppose LeBron retired after next year. Do we look at LeBron's legacy as one of the best ever, or as a guy who never really achieved everything he could achieve because he could not win it without going to super teams? Now, he got the Cleveland Cavaliers to an NBA Finals with a bunch of dudes and then had to come back and win it with Kevin Love and company. So you could kind of say he won one of those on his own because Kevin Love was a contributor, but he's no Pippen, we'll say. But do we look at LeBron and say, yeah, you've got all those championships, that's great, but you couldn't win one with just you. You couldn't win it a la, as we put it, like Michael or what have you. But then again, look at those Laker teams with Magic and Kareem, and you start to get and Byron Scott. You start to look at those teams, and then you go back and say, well, Bird didn't win it without McHale and without his army. You know, you look at any NBA champion, and it's always taken two or three significant players to win championships. We're sitting here talking about, well, the Bucks weren't going to be able to win it without Middleton. Steph doesn't win it without his supporting cast. But people want to kind of hold LeBron to a higher standard. Do we look at LeBron as this? Maybe you could look at LeBron and say, with your talent, you should have won more, but you would go for 4 years, destroy an organization, and then leave. And then go 4 years, destroy an organization, and then leave. This will be the first time he stayed more than 4 years in an organization, but it's destroyed. They've done anything and everything they possibly could to win. They've traded away everything. They've gotten veterans. They've gotten older. They've gotten broken down. They haven't won anything since a couple of years ago. And they've won one. But it's, again, you come into the organization, you build it up, you win a championship, and then it all fades away, and then off LeBron goes to the next team. Rick says LeBron's production by himself is just a bunch of empty calories. It's a good way to put it. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Hit us up. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Things in Wisconsin that are meant for each other.
Beer and brats.
Now you're talking.
Chicago and playoff losses.
Delicious.
Sunshine in Pella windows.
Gina Della from Pella.
44% more natural light enters your home when we install our innovative hidden screen. Available exclusively on Pella 250 series single hung, double hung, and sliding windows. It's super easy and sleek. The window screen folds away when closed, keeping it clean from the elements and preventing bugs from entering your home thanks to a tight seal. Best of all, you and your home get to bask in all of that extra sunlight.
Yeah, but the wear and tear from opening and closing screens.
It was designed and tested to last 9,400 cycles, the equivalent to opening and closing it every day for 25 years.
Man, that's got to be expensive.
Choose 0% financing for 72 months or a free upgrade to the hidden screen in our 250 series.
Whoa, I need to jump on that now.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. See Pella Experience Center for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Wisconsinites and those that surround the area, you know what I'm talking about. We're not pretentious. We're not snooty. Midwestern charm and values, that's what we have. And that's exactly what Forgotten Fire Winery in Peshtigo, that's what they're all about. And they have said it. I have been there. I've seen it up close and personal. Fun in a bottle. You like ice in your wine? Put ice in your wine. You like ciders with some zip? There you go. They got them. You want to have white wine with steak? Oh my God, is that a faux pas? Nah, go ahead. They don't care. They're without attitude. All kinds of just fun. That's what they want to do. You can find their full line of wines and ciders and such, and in their tasting room, by the way, right there in Peshtigo, or in liquor and grocery stores and wine stores all throughout the state. And if they don't carry Forgotten Fire wines, then get the hell out of there. Tell them they should and get the hell out of there. The winery, great place for a getaway, for wine and cider tastings, live music, private events as well. Anytime is a great time for my friends over there at Forgotten Fire Wines and Ciders. And I am taking a jug, a big old jug. We leave not this weekend, but next weekend. Big old jug of the cider from Forgotten Fire Winery. Oh, can't wait. You may see some really crazy video from the deck overlooking the lake out of yours truly. Ben, I would pay attention to some Facebook that week because every now and then it can get weird. Just saying. Go to ForgottenFireWinery.com. That is ForgottenFireWinery.com. Again, ForgottenFireWinery.com. Let's do this. Let's talk some Brewers baseball. Our buddy Will Salmon hanging out with us today. Will, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Doing pretty well on my end.
Well, let me ask you this. With the weekend that was and the fact that they've won 6 out of their last 9, they're hitting the baseball. It seems like things are getting a little bit better in the health department. Give me have they put the train back on the tracks?
Yeah, for the most part. I think that they are who they kind of are. Like, they're always going to be a team that's going to have to pitch better than most teams. They haven't quite done that as frequently as you'd expect them to or want them to, but a lot of that's because of injury. Some of it's poor performance as well. Don't get me wrong. But what we weren't seeing and like what we finally saw the last like handful of days is the offense kind of bailing them out, like when the pitching performance has not been up to their standard. For instance, like yesterday, for that matter, Chichi Gonzalez gives up 3 runs before the Brewers are even able to take a turn at bat, and they win that game in a blowout. That's not something that we've seen frequently, really at all this year from the Brewers. So that was a good sign that it's in there and that these guys have that ability. And, I think some of it's real. Like these guys, they have a pretty competent lineup. Like we've talked about it before, where there aren't like too many guys that jump out and who are going to lead the All-Star balloting or anything like that. But 1 through 9, they have some pretty competent bats. It's just a matter of like, are they going to do enough offensively each day? And are they going to get to that total of like 4 or 5 runs? Because once they get to there, they've proven that they're going to win games more often than not.
What do you think of the pitching staff? Now, we know Freddie Peralta is not coming back anytime soon, but give me your thoughts regarding the pitching staff as they continue to get healthy.
Yeah, a lot of it depends on how Woodruff looks Tuesday. He's supposed to make his first start back from being on the IL first with the ankle injury, then with Raynaud's syndrome. So that's a big one, because what you get out of him may dictate like how good you feel about the pitching staff as a whole and what you can do maybe before the trade deadline. Because if he's pitching well and if he's on track and if he's showing signs of, maintaining health and dealing with what he has to deal with as far as his pitches go, then you're in okay shape, I feel like, because you're expected to get Aaron Ashby as well pretty soon. He was scheduled to face some live hitters today at some point on their off day. So eager to hear how that goes. And so that they're kind of in wait and see mode to kind of see what they get out of those 2 guys, because other than that, really you have Corbin Burns and, Eric Lauer and Adrian Hauser each over their last 6 starts have 6 ERAs, and that's just not getting the job done. So I think a lot of it, obviously, is wait and see how Woodruff and Ashby perform, and that will dictate how you feel and what you can do before the trade deadline.
Looking at the rest of they DFA Lorenzo Cain. We know that he was kind of considering ending his career anyway this year. So the fact that they get rid of him and now they've got this I guess group of guys that can kind of fill that position, be bats in that lineup. I know it was a tough decision, but for the most part, it was the right one. What kind of leadership, though, do they lose in that clubhouse, if any?
Well, Lorenzo was more or less a quiet type of guy. When he's like one of those guys that when he spoke up, and he did speak up at times, and when he did, it mattered. It held a lot of weight, and it was because he needed to. Like there was something going on that warranted his voice. But I think more or less he was a guy that younger players, whether it was Tyrone Taylor or whoever, they looked up to because of just the way he played the game, in the sense that you knew that he was giving it his all when he suited up to play. Like whether he was 100% or not wasn't part of the equation. Like he was at his best. He was going to play through injury. He was going to give you everything he had every single game. And that's something that people respect. And that goes a long way with leadership. So he'll be missed in that sense. But like you said, Bill, like this was something that kind of had to be done, and everybody sort of expected it at some point, pretty much right around when they did it. That was the day that people kind of circled as to, okay, if it's going to happen, it's probably going to happen now, because there just weren't any signs that he was unfortunately going to get going offensively. And they definitely needed more than what they were getting there. And so far it's been okay. Like they've played Tyrone Taylor there a bunch. He's pretty much the center fielder, but with Hunter Renfroe out, they're able to play Jonathan Davis a little bit more and put Davis in center field with Taylor sliding over in right field for Renfroe. So right now that's how it is, but there's certainly room to upgrade the outfield as well.
Looking at Christian Yelich and what he's been doing ever since he went into the leadoff role, give me your thoughts there, because he has been – it's like he's just found this breath of fresh air in a leadoff position where I don't know why, whether or not he just doesn't feel pressure or what, or he's just trying to hit to get on now. But it certainly is really not only boosted his average and his OPS, but it seems like he's a lot more confident at the plate.
Yeah, it's better. It's definitely better than what it was. There were still a couple of games there where, you wish he would have came through with a hit. There was that one game in particular where he was the last at bat of the game and didn't come through for them. But and the next day he did have I think a couple of hits or some really good at bats at least. So he's been a little bit more consistent in some areas, particularly with just like racking up hits. We haven't seen like the slug or the power kind of come back at all much. It's been better. He has a couple of home runs since moving to the leadoff spot. Still, it's not there like it was a few years ago, and I'm not sure if it will be. But yeah, I think the numbers are improved. I think he's kind of gravitated to the spot a little bit. I don't know if if you move him back to third, does all of a sudden like he stopped producing? I would hope not. I don't think that conceptually that makes a lot of sense, but I think right now that they'll probably leave him where he is just because things are working. I think it alleviates some stress, not being in the middle of the order. I don't want to speak for him, but just like looking at it, taking him out of the equation and just looking at it from like if it was anybody, like you're seeing the pitcher kind of before he gets into a groove. Like you're seeing him first at bat of the game before he's settling in, and that could be advantageous to a batter. So there's that aspect. And like you said, just anecdotally, I think that if you look at him at the plate, he's a little bit more aggressive. He's swinging earlier. He's swinging a lot more frequently. And it helps that he's getting the results. Because I think like when you could like place results on top of each other, you start to get into a better groove at the plate and just start to feel better about yourself. And that's what we're seeing more or less.
Talking with Will Salmon of The Athletic, covers the Milwaukee Brewers. You can find him on Twitter at Will Salmon, Sammon. So when they get Colton Wong back, do you put Wong back in the leadoff spot, or do you leave him, you put him down further in the lineup? And then when Urias goes back to third and you have your full complement of infield the way it was supposed to be at the beginning of the season, do you feel better? Or do you feel a little bit more nervous because the averages of those guys collectively have not necessarily been good?
Yeah, that was a question that I had asked Craig Counsell a couple of weeks ago when we first thought that Colton Wong was going to come back quicker from his injury. He actually ended up having a setback, and so like that became moot for a while. But now it's the question that's back to relevance because Colton Wong is supposed to come back tomorrow. So. Yeah, I think that you probably leave Yelich there and you basically just swap Wong for Jace Peterson. They're both left-handed bats. So where Jace Peterson usually bats in the lineup, which is usually like somewhere in the lower third, I would probably slot Colton Wong there for now and just kind of see how things play out, just because you maintain the same balance anyway with, like I said, them being left-handed batters. And you're not like swapping one for the other side where you have to mix and match a little bit. But yeah, I think you feel better about it just because like those are your guys. You need more consistency from Colton Wong defensively. Uncharacteristically, he's had a handful of errors this year, so you hope that he gets on track there. But this is them at their best as far as the infield goes. They still are going to miss Renfroe and his power production, but as far as the infield, this is their ideal situation. This is what they wanted heading into the season. We really haven't seen a whole lot of it because whether it was Urias or Adames or Wong, each of them have kind of taken turns on the IL a little bit. So we haven't really seen the full complement. It's a good thing for them. It's just they need more consistency in some areas before you start to, point to that as like a reason for them to get on a hot streak or anything.
Here's something to think about. Maybe do an article on this. Has a team ever won the World Series with zero all-stars other than coming out of the pitching staff? Unless you know that answer.
Yeah, I don't know that answer. That's a good question, and that could be their reality, very much so. It's a very interesting point. Yeah, last year we looked at some offensive numbers midway through the season, and things got better for them offensively after we looked at it naturally. But they were on track to be like one of the worst offensive teams to like win the division, I think it was, or something like that. So, yeah, there's a little bit of precedent there. But, yeah, I definitely would be interested to find out. Oh, that's a good call.
Well, always good to talk to you, my friend. We certainly appreciate it. Keep on doing what you're doing, and we'll talk again soon, okay?
Yep, appreciate it.
All right, bud. Talk to you soon. There you go. Will Salmon of The Athletic. You can read his stuff right there at Will_Salmon, Sammon, at Will_Salmon. Join us on the hotline. Always good to get a chance to chat with him. Good stuff. 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, feel free to go ahead and do so. Think about that. Without any all-stars of your 8 position players, because the Brewers aren't going to get any. Let's face it. Not going to happen. Not unless suddenly Brewers fans just start stuffing the ballot box like crazy. Ain't going to happen. So you're going to have pitchers, but you're not going to have an all-star in a position. Has a team ever won a World Series not having an all-star at one of those 8 positions? And do you think this team is capable, without any all-stars, of winning a World Series? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Big Sunday coming up. This Sunday, not only is NASCAR and the Xfinity Series, they're ready to kind of infiltrate Road America because they had a nice race in Nashville yesterday. Now they're coming north. Everybody's coming north, right? Everybody's getting here. But on Sunday morning, I'm going to be with the people from Quick Trip, and I get a chance to give away the brand new 2022 Camaro SS. Cannot wait. Cannot wait. Good people at Quick Trip. It's a Quick Trip 250. Looking forward to it. Also, they are celebrating Dairy Days with some great savings. Right now, for a limited time, Nature's Touch milk, non-fat, 1%, 2% fresh from the dairy, on sale, just $2.99 a gallon. Nature's Touch. By the way, okay, I'll tell you this. I made a mistake. I have to admit this. I bought some milk from one of the big box grocery stores about 2 weeks ago. Okay, and I love milk at night. Always have. But I bought a half gallon. And I was gone. I was in Rice Lake for a couple of days. We all know that last week. And then I got home. Went to take a swig of the milk. Oh, my God. I don't know what it is, what Quick Trip does, because it's so fresh and they do everything right there in-house. It's like their milk is nuclear. It stays fresh for weeks. It's good stuff. Check out our friends from Quick Trip. They just got the best. They are the best. Thank God they're right here in our own backyard, right here in Wisconsin. Good stuff from our friends at Quick Trip, and cannot wait to give that car away this coming Sunday. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Roadhouse on Blue Mountain Road in Brookfield, right next to Menards. You're going to see people out there doing the bocce ball thing over there. Yeah, bocce ball this coming tonight, this coming Wednesday night too. So if you're looking to play a little bocce ball, get in a league, get your team together, whatever it happens to be, get a hold of my buddy Joey at Albanese's Roadhouse. And also, as we start to creep in on the State Fair season, don't forget that when you're at the Wisconsin State Fair, look for Albanese's Roadhouse at the fair. Good Italian food at the fair. There you go. Good stuff. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Good stuff about the Brewers. A lot of good things to kind of look forward to at this point. But without having an all-star in one of your starting 8 positions, do you think this team wins a World Series? 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Just throwing it out there. That's all. This one's from Stan. Stan says, hey, Unit, big weekend. Brewers get a couple of wins, and my family bought me an icy machine. Throwback to the olden days as a kid. Love it. Sat on the patio, had the ices, put a little tequila in there. Oh, what a weekend. All right. I do remember the old icy machines. There was, is icy still a thing, right? Ben, are icy still a thing?
I think so.
I think so too.
See them at like 7-Eleven.
There you go. 7-Elevens. But I know they have like the slushies or whatever they are. I don't know specifically. I know that they make something similar at Sonic. They have like the blue and the red and the different colored, kind of the slushies, so to speak. But the actual icy, I don't know if they still have the icy machine. I don't know. They used to have it. There was a place called Don Hadding's. Oddly enough, it was called Quick Trip, KWIKTRIP. Back when I grew up as a kid, it was down the street, but it was a little mom and pop. Don Hadding was a grocery guy who started his own convenience stores. And this is before the days of the drive-through with gas stations. These were just little corner convenience stores. And it was called Don Hadding's Quick Trip back then. And he had the icy machine because that was always the big deal. Man, if you got a couple of bucks and you could go down and get a pack of the baseball card bubble gum, a pack of baseball cards with the bubble gum in it and an icy, your day was made, man. That was fantastic. Be huge. 877-867-1670. Good for you, though. Get yourself an icy machine. Who is the Ben? You've done the research on this?
Yeah, I put the Big J hat on. You're talking about World Series teams that really don't have any position players make the All-Star game. The 2014 San Francisco Giants, when they won that third one in that 5-year span, they did not have a single position player start the All-Star game. The only one they had as a reserve was Hunter Pence.
Hunter Pence was the only one. Wow.
But then you go to the pitching staff, they had Bumgarner, Tim Hudson was on that team, but still that's only 3 total. They had next to none. Because that year you would think Buster Posey, but Yadi Molina made it that year. You had Luke Roy from the Brewers make it as a reserve. So yeah, they had nobody pretty much make that All-Star game.
Didn't realize that. So they were the Giants were the last team to do it. So it can be done, is what you're saying. So it can be done. Correct. But not the easiest thing in the world to do. 877-867-1670. So as good as that team was, maybe what we do is we look at the comparison of, say, team batting average, team OPS, and team ERA.
Well, I can confidently say that team wasn't that good until they got to the playoffs.
Right.
And they had some weird magic. That was just a weird
That's
stretch.
what I'm saying. So sometimes, do I think as we sit here today that the Brewers are the favorite to win the World Series? No. Okay, for 2 reasons. One is, I don't know, and I don't think as of right now they could get past the Dodgers, okay? And secondly, New York, the Yankees, they're blowing away everybody. I mean, everybody. They are 53-20. Just like, Tampa Bay going into this series tomorrow night, Tampa Bay's 8 games over 500. They are 40-32. The Brewers are 42-33. The Brewers would be a game ahead of Tampa Bay if they were playing in the American League East, but the Brewers would be 11 games behind the Yankees if they were playing the American League East. They'd be out of the postseason when it comes to the American League East. They were not going to win the American League East. They could still possibly make it in as a wild card, but they're not going to win the American League East. If they were playing in the East right now, they would have a legit shot at winning the East in the National League and the West in the National League. Probably be right there in the American League West and right there in the American League Central. But if they were playing in the American League East, they'd be down by 11 games already. So do I think the Brewers have a legitimate shot at getting to a World Series? I think it's probably 60-40 they won't. And I certainly don't think they can win it all. If I had to sit right now and say that, the Yankees most likely are going to be the team to win it if you had to be a betting person. But like you said, the Giants got hot at the right time. You got to be good. You got to be lucky. You got to be healthy, and you got to get hot. And just let's hope the Brewers stay healthy and get hot at the right time. Because God knows the last couple of times we've seen them in the postseason, go back even to the year that they faced LA in the NLCS, the bats just went quiet. I mean, like good night type of quiet. So, yeah, well, whether or not they get hot at the right time, we'll have to wait and see. Yes,
I'm trying to find whether this Giants team was good at bunting to see if that was the thing that propelled them over the top.
Oh, you just keep sticking a dagger in the conversation, don't you? You go after it. You're like a guy creeping around the house in the middle of the night, and just whenever you happen to walk down the hall, you're just going to reach out and go, gotcha, and stab you right in the leg just to prove you're there, and then you're going to run away. And then you run away just to kind of do it again later on down the road. You're that guy.
Oh, I found it. 45 sacrifice bunts throughout that year.
45.
The Brewers this year, according to Baseball Reference. Now, keep in mind, this is without pitchers hitting,
Mhm.
and pitchers probably accounted for most of it. The Brewers have won.
On that note, let's do this. We'll step away, take a quick break. More of the Bill Michaels Show coming back.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
If you're in or near Humboldt, Wisconsin, check out a family success story with a good old-fashioned farm store. Go to ScholzefamilyBeef.com. That's ScholzefamilyBeef.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
We can't see it. Not going to do it. So 877-867-1670. But yeah, that was announced last week when Rick Schlesinger had met with the Milwaukee Press Club and just said that the group ticket sales are down. And they believe it's because a lot of companies are allowing their employees to work remotely and from home. And this particular email says, no, it's because we can't see the games on the western portion of the state. So the 2 bus events that they would bring each and every year, he said, are not happening because they're going to Twins games now because you can't see Brewers games in the western portion of the state. So there you go. I wonder. So not only do you not have people continuously seeing Brewers games, and so you're not seeing the commercials that are being advertised, and now it's affecting your ticket sales. I wonder if at some point, some kind of a negotiation or a meeting of the minds and meeting in the middle of all of this allows people in the western portion of the state. I mean, again, I don't know that all the companies are doing this. I only know the one and the gentleman that sent us the email that says their company's no longer going to Brewers games because they can't see the games. So interesting, though. So not only do you cut yourself out of the advertising for those who do or do not see Bally's games, but now you're actually hurting your ticket sales because of it as well. Think about that. Interesting. 2 hours down, 2 hours yet to go on this beautiful Monday. Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Got a lot more to get to. We have not even talked about really the story of the weekend. And no, it was not Lord Stanley's Cup. And I've got a controversy regarding that as well. So there you go. We got a lot happening. Just because we're halfway through the show doesn't mean it's even coming close to being halfway over. Oh, nay, nay. Nay, nay. Stay tuned. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers have first place in the NL Central to themselves again. That's after they finished off Toronto yesterday with a 10-3 win to take 2 of 3 from the Blue Jays. Milwaukee fell down 3-0 in the first inning as Chichi Gonzalez gave up a 3-run homer. But the Brewers answered in the bottom of the inning with a 2-run shot from Rowdy Tellez. They weren't done, though, as they scored 6 more runs in the second, including another 2-run homer from Tellez. Milwaukee would cruise from there, and manager Craig Counsell pointed to Tellez's first homer in turning the tide.
But it just puts you right back in the game. So Rowdy's homer just puts us right back there, and it's a ball game. You know, and Chichi was good. He was good for 3 innings and got us to a good point with we felt with a rested bullpen that we could be a little aggressive with the guys, and they all did a great job. So, but the offense was the story today, and they were awesome.
Tellez had 4 RBI. Willie Adames had 3 hits and scored twice. 7 different guys had at least 1 RBI. The win pushed Milwaukee to a game up on St. Louis in the division. Crew is off today, but will open a series in Tampa tomorrow. They will do so without Hunter Renfroe. He was placed on the IL with a calf strain yesterday, his second stint on the IL this year.
For nearly 40 years, ABC of Wisconsin has been helping men and women transform themselves into well-paid, productive members of their construction teams. Have you thought about a career in a skilled trade? These are the types of skills that could secure your future. Jobs that can't be outsourced to someone overseas. Be in demand. To get your career started, go to buildyourcareerwi.org.
Well, NBA free agency gets underway Thursday night. Serge Ibaka and Wesley Matthews among Milwaukee's free agents. Guard Pat Connaughton exercised his player option to stick around, while the team is reportedly expected to retain forward Bobby Portis, who will be a free agent after declining his player option. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heilprin.
Welcome. Hour number 3 of the Bill Michaels Show. Glad to have you on board. Thanks for paying attention to us. We certainly appreciate it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up? Phone lines are wide open. You can find us on Twitter at Bill_Michaels, at Bill_Michaels, or at Ben Z. Kenny, producing the program. Also, Facebook.com. Go to Facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show. And you can find us over on YouTube. And please subscribe on YouTube, because then it just comes right to you, whether it's over the air, through the app, or you can watch it on YouTube, whatever it happens to be. Find us there. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels Show. You can find us there on Twitch TV as well. Download the app. You can watch that. Email the program, thebillmichaels@gmail.com. That's thebillmichaels@gmail.com as well, and you're good to go. Got a couple of different, we were talking about, and I'm going to get into this here in just a minute, so hang in there, I promise you, because really the two biggest stories of the day, we haven't even gotten to yet. The whole thing about the ticket sales, group ticket sales being down for the Milwaukee Brewers. I get the email that says, hey, our company is based in Eau Claire. We don't go there because we can't see the games anymore. We're now going to Twins games. And you wonder how the not being able to see the games in the western portion of the state, since cutting the deal only to have it on Bally's and only to have it on cable, maybe it's hurt the Milwaukee Brewers. This one is from Brent, or Craig, I should say. He said, it's true. I'm in Eau Claire, and anyone with Dish can no longer watch the games. I don't know half the roster anymore. Bradley says, I do know that it's not the Milwaukee Brewers' fault, nor any of their teams. Sinclair/Bally Sports are blocking out the home team in each state. So living in Wisconsin means you can see all the other 29 teams play, but not yours. Craig says it really sucks. Nobody even has the games on at the bar or the restaurants anymore. Tom says somebody at Bally's or Spectrum decided that the western portion of Wisconsin is now in Minnesota. And Jeff says Eau Claire has Brewers games on Bally through Spectrum, and that's it. Menominee and West carry the Twins. So there you go. So if you don't have Spectrum, then you're not watching it. Now, I do know they just made a deal with the Bally app that you can catch the games. They did make it available with the Bally app. I know Cheddar Ball says $20 is a ridiculous price for the Bally app. It should be closer to, say, $9.99 a month as a price point. I understand that. Is it $20 a month? Is the Bally app $20 a month or a season? Because if it's a season, then it's not terrible.
Oh, it's $20 a month.
It's $20 a month.
I think I saw $120 for the year, and that includes Brewers
that's right.
and Bucks games.
Yeah, Brewers and Bucks games. So for the year. Okay, I get that.
And as someone who pays for MLB TV every year, $60 flat.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah. It is. Yep. $190 for the year. Yeah, that's crazy.
You would also be proud at how much I'm holding off looking up how many times the Twins have bunted this year to see if it's actually a better product.
At least there's opportunities, I guess, to get it. And this one particular, person in the email said our company we see the Twins games, so we're not going to Brewers games anymore. So it goes back in conjunction with what Rick Schlesinger, the president of business, the side of business of the Brewers, said that their group sales are down. And one of the reasons is they believe is because more people are working from home and companies aren't doing the gatherings like they used to. So that's one, and it's down significantly. He said normally they get about 600,000 tickets a year through group sales. And this year it's down at least 200,000 from that. So that's quite a chunk of people that are not going to the group sales thing with companies and such because the companies aren't doing it. And then on the other hand,
friend of
go ahead.
The show and the station, Dave from Monona, called in and said, because he's dealt with something similar, he said he didn't think it was the people at home. He thinks that buying these packages are no longer able to be written off in terms of work expenses and taxes. That was what he explained.
That I don't know.
Company.
That I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I didn't know you could write them off. I didn't know you could. So, okay. Not that I own a big business or anything, but I didn't know you could do that. Craig says, and it's going to get worse. Rick says, I lived in the western portion of Wisconsin, and the Twins were more popular than the Brewers. See, Rick, it's funny because when I go and do these shows in Eau Claire, in La Crosse, in Viroqua, it's more Brewers fans. The Twins fans are there. I'll agree with you. Now, you live there. I don't. But I see just as many Brewers fans, if not more, than I do Twins fans. So I don't know what the percentages are. But still, I'll say this. When the Bucks went on their tour years ago, 2-3 years ago, they ended up hitting all of those cities, I believe, because they wanted to promote the entire state of Wisconsin to get on board with what the Bucks were doing. They felt that money in the western portion of the state would put them over the top. They're going to get their money from Sheboygan to Kenosha to Jefferson County. You draw that big semicircle around the state, you're going to get that, even from Green Bay to a certain extent. But what they wanted, the western portion of the state, monetarily, it kind of puts them over the top. If they start to get those people that start not only tuning in, but also entertaining the thought of coming to games, coming into the city of Milwaukee, which is why the crime in Milwaukee has been so detrimental. Because and again, going back to when I do get a chance to travel, when I was just up in Rice Lake, and, people say, well, where are you based out of? And I say, just outside of Milwaukee. Oh, Milwaukee, I'm not going there. Oh, there's a murder there every day. I'm not doing that. Oh, they're killing people downtown. I'm not doing that. And I have no rebuttal to that anymore. Because crime in Milwaukee, in downtown Milwaukee, is stupid. It never used to be downtown. It was always across the highway into the northern portion. It was kind of a more pinpointed area of that more violent crime, and not anymore. The city of Milwaukee has become just a firing zone, and I can't blame people. If you don't want to come and you're somewhat fearful, I get it. After the shooting at the Fiserv, I can't even say anymore that I blame you. Water Street used to be a place you could go. You could go from one end to the other, and you could walk it. You could do your own little pub crawl, have a lot of fun. It was a great place to go and mix and mingle and meet people. Not anymore. Not like it was. And now, don't get me wrong. It's not like it's every day. It's not an everyday occurrence. It is, I'm not going to say few and far between, but it's not all the time, but it's not the same. It's not what it used to be. Unfortunately. 877-867-1670. So one of the biggest stories that we have not even gotten into the discussion of as of right now has been the fact that 8 players and coaches ejected after the wild brawl between the Seattle Mariners and the LA Angels. I still don't understand what Scott Service, who's by the way, the manager of the Mariners. I don't understand why he lost his Chisnitz. Jesse Winker, by the way, who I have never liked. Jesse Winker went off after getting drilled in the butt, which on Friday and on Saturday, Seattle pitchers threw at the head of 2 Angels players. One of them being Mike Trout. So once they went upstairs on Mike Trout with a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, that was it. So when the Angels pitchers decided to get the retaliation, clearly constructed by their manager, they drilled him in the back and in the butt. And Winker, for whatever reason, took offense to it and went nuts. He was hit by the first pitch in the second inning. Wantz, by the way, was the opener and the pitcher for the Angels, who had thrown a pitch behind the head of Rodriguez back in the first inning. And it was upstairs. It was around the shoulders. It wasn't like directly at the head, but it was behind him. But after that, nuts. And I'll tell you this, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. There is these unwritten rules in baseball. If you're going to get retaliation, you do not throw at anybody's head. And the Mariners did it not once, but twice. So for Scott Service to act like he could not understand why they were throwing at his guys, Scott Service, for that acting job, should have received an Academy Award. Because he should have apologized for going up and in on those guys, up near the chin area, up near the head area. But that turned into a melee. And Winker just kept going and going and going and running back out onto the field like he was some kind of bad hard ass. I mean, he had a guy with a busted wrist and a cast on his hand smush him in the face. It's like, dude, you're losing to a one-handed dude. Get off the field. Julio Rodriguez, J.P. Crawford, Angels pitchers Iglesias, Andrew Wantz, Ryan Tepera also tossed out of the game. Now we wait for Major League Baseball to start handing down the suspensions. Winker, I don't know why he got angry. He started yelling at the Angels dugout. He should have just taken it and walked to first base and left it alone. That was it. Did you see all of that, Ben?
I saw the videos that instantly went all over social media. My favorite part of all of it, after it all died down, for some reason, you mentioned Iglesias, the closer for the Angels. He lost his damn mind. He picked crazy. Up all the sunflower seeds, put them onto the field, went and started yelling, came back into the dugout, just destroyed everything, knocked the water coolers over. For just the sake of wild entertainment, I thought it was awesome.
It was crazy. It just crazy. Man, it was just, he went nuts. 18 minutes. Now think about that. 18 minutes. Normally you get about 3 minutes out of a review. 18 minutes, the game was suspended. It was nuts. And then, this is the stupidest thing. So Nevin, the A's manager, he said, look, you play 8 games in a matter of a week against the same team. Things like this are going to happen. No, they're not. He talked about scheduling tensions that create this. No. You play in divisional games, rivals pretty consistently. You know, how many times have you seen, like, the Brewers go on the road, they play 3 against Pittsburgh, and, 4 games later, they're back at American Family Field, and they play a 4-game series against Pittsburgh. I mean, no, this doesn't happen. This rarely happens. A fight like this, and this was a fight. This was a brouhaha, man. They were throwing punches. They were tackling. Piles went down. Then it carried over to the third base side. Out near third base, and then, like you said, you've got a relief pitcher wailing stuff out into the outfield or into the infield. I like the slow motion of the whole bin that holds all of the bubble gum and the sunflower seeds. I like the slow motion, the Fox slow motion camera, the video as that thing sails slowly, majestically out into the field after he wailed it. It's crazy.
Oh, man. Pitching Ninja on Twitter, the guy who posts all those clips of, nasty pitches in baseball, he always adds like a pitch trail to see when something moves. He added a pitch trail to the bin of sunflower seeds and all the bags that fell out.
That's awesome. So this was the actual broadcast as the fight broke out between the Mariners and the Angels. Take a listen.
Opportunity to get through the lineup a few more times, and he has pitched out of the pen in Salt Lake.
And he just hit Winker. Erica with the first pitch. Scott Service is calling for him to be thrown out of the game. And Winker Winker's trying to get towards Phil Nevin and the Angels, and the benches are cleared. And Tristan Upton comes in, and we have chaos.
There you go. Chaos. There was, I will say this, not a lot of description out of the broadcast team. Now, granted, it's TV. Not a lot of description. But
disappointing.
Yeah, which was disappointing because usually you get, oh, here we go. And then it's off, and then you're describing who's good. Because you can't, while the television average viewer is at home watching this, you can't be with all of your eyes seeing every name of every guy of everything that's going on. So when you're there and you're in person and you've got your binoculars trained to this, and you usually do if you're a broadcaster of any type, that's when you give the play-by-play, because what you're showing is this just giant big scrum of people. What you want is the play-by-play guy to give you the individuals. Such and such has taken Winker down. He smashed him in the face. Winker's now on the ground. Here comes Nevin. You want that. Benches are cleared. Here comes the guys out of the bullpen. Because actually off to the side, when the pile went back out to third base area and that scrum was going on, you had a bench coach with a full Nelson on one of the Angels players, and he was trying to get free, but he had him like in this headlock. Like, you're not getting away. You're not getting away. It was, that was going on off to the side. Nobody was even talking about that. But if you caught it for a split second, as a broadcaster, you'd like to be able to say, and such has him in a full Nelson off to the side, not allowing him to get a puck. It was pandemonium. So interesting that happened yesterday. And I'm just now waiting for Major League Baseball to kind of just lay down all the suspensions. Can't wait. Because some guys, how many games do you think Winker gets? Let's just take a guess here. Because he not only started it by getting hit in the butt and starting screaming, he started screaming at the Angels dugout. Then he went over. Then he got thrown out. He left the field, then came back onto the field, tried to get back over to the Angels dugout. And then when it was finally said and done, he flipped off the fans. He gave the double bird salute up. He did apologize after the game. He said it was the one thing I regret, but by then it's too late. You can't put the fingers back in a holster. He flipped off the fans, great big FU, and then finally left the field. How many games do you think Winker gets? I'm thinking he gets at least 10 games. At least a 10-game suspension. I'll take that. See what happens. We'll do the over and under on that. We are woefully late for a break. Stay tuned. We got to come back, get you a whole lot more of this portion of the program. Brought to you by our good friends over there at New Mail Medical, treating guys with ED all over the state of Wisconsin, well beyond the borders. And they treat you for ED with a 98% success rate. 98. And then there's the low T treatments. And if you're doing the low T thing and you may know you got it, maybe you don't. Maybe you're over the age of 30 and you're tired all the time and you're sluggish. You don't want to get up and go to the gym anymore. You just don't have the stamina you used to have, or the, potency, we'll say. Could be low T. How about the all-in-one weight loss program? Now, let me give you my particular example here. I got the back issue. I can't really do anything right now workout-wise. So I've been really hardcore because with the steroids and stuff that I'm on, I've gained like 22 pounds. And so what I'm doing to combat it, I've lost like 3, but I've not gained anymore when I went really hardcore into the weight loss program. So it's really helped me health-wise. Otherwise, I think my weight would even go up more had it not been for this. So I'm hoping that once I get the okay and my back gets cleared, that I can get back working out and start to lose all of this real quickly again. But the all-in-one weight loss program, not only does it gives you a weight loss program, but for what I'm going through, it's really helped me in that sense. So again, all you got to do is call them and follow it. 414-455-4451. 414-455-4451. That's the New Mel Medical Center. Again, 414-455-4451. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Things in Wisconsin that are meant for each other.
Beer and brats.
Now you're talking.
Chicago and playoff losses.
Delicious.
Sunshine in Pella windows.
Gina Della from Pella.
44% more natural light enters your home when we install our innovative hidden screen. Available exclusively on Pella 250 series single hung, double hung, and sliding windows. It's super easy and sleek. The window screen folds away when closed, keeping it clean from the elements and preventing bugs from entering your home thanks to a tight seal. Best of all, you and your home get to bask in all of that extra sunlight.
Yeah, but the wear and tear from opening and closing screens.
It was designed and tested to last 9,400 cycles, the equivalent to opening and closing it every day for 25 years.
Man, that's got to be expensive.
Choose 0% financing for 72 months or a free upgrade to the hidden screen in our 250 series.
Whoa, I need to jump on that now.
Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. See Pella Experience Center for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. Glad to have you. Next weekend, the debut of the new Big Unit Cruiser this year. Compliments of our friends at Kunis. Go to Kunes, Kunis RV. They're Wisconsin's fastest growing RV dealer in the area. And when you talk about the different brands they have, oh boy, Jayco, Alliance, Coachman, Dutchman, Forest River, Gulfstream, Nexus, Thor, Heartland, Crossroads. I can go on and on. I can just on and on. I'm trying to think of my Redwood, I think they have. Winnebago, I know they have. Stop into one of their many Kunis RV locations all throughout the great state of Wisconsin and just beyond the borders as well. Right now, they have low APR financing. As financing continues to go up, but they keep it low. Kunis offering top dollar for your trade-ins as well. They even have consignment. But if you are looking to get a motorhome, a fifth wheel, camper van, travel trailer, think about Vegas staycations. You know, go to some of the great campsites and such here in the state of Wisconsin, and you can even rent. Try it before you buy it. Go to Kunis, Kunes, KunisRV.com, the home of the big unit cruiser, KunisRV.com. Welcome back. By the way, going back to our icy discussion, Jeff says over on Twitter, he says icy machines are at Targets nowadays. Stop into a Target store. I didn't know. I think they're also, and correct me if I'm wrong, Dupe says 7-Elevens and Speedways carry ices. So I don't know. I haven't been into a 7-Eleven or a Speedway in forever. If I don't have to, I'm usually a Quick Trip. Now, Quick Trip has their own version of that, of the icy thing. So, you know, that's similar, I guess. But it is what it is. But yeah, icy machines at Target. I'll have to look for that because I got a Target right up the street. I go to it all the time. As a matter of fact, I was there yesterday. I was buying a couple of beach towels for the boat for the upcoming trip. Big old beach towels. Cover my big ass. Yeah. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Bob says, but Winker yesterday gave a small girl that was crying at the game and autographed a baseball. So it should be okay now, right? I don't think so. I'm thinking he gets at least 5, maybe 10 games. I'm thinking 10 games. Let's start there, and then he probably appeals it and gets it down to 8 or something like that. But because the problem is he got ejected, he left, then he came back again and left, and then the second time he left, he flipped off the fans. And he's going to get hammered for that. Regardless of your apology, he's going to get hammered for that. I just kind of feel it, you know? So we'll see. I can't take credit for this. Okay. Just an FYI. And Ben, think about this for a minute. So I'm perusing Facebook, as I think many of us do, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff. I'm perusing that. And our good friend, John Greenberg, he is the president of the Milwaukee Admirals right here in the city of Milwaukee, the state of Wisconsin. And he had said something to the effect of the best trophy ever. And then said most coveted. And he's talking about Lord Stanley's Cup. And people disagreed with him. People disagree. And the reason why people disagreed with him was because I don't think they understood what he was talking about. So think about this now for a minute. When you talk about Lord Stanley's Cup, it's the trophy. It's the best trophy in all sports, he says, not even close. Do you agree with that?
Ooh. I'm trying to rack my brain. Like, it's definitely one that is celebrated the most, just trophy-wise, obviously with the guys throughout the offseason. I'll say yes to pander to hockey fans because this is their moment, you know? The Stanley Cup ends are like, see, this is how bad they wanted it, and they shake hands after the game. Yeah. So I'll give them their moment.
By the way, for those that are wondering, when you start talking about going to see the Milwaukee Admirals games and their season upcoming for tickets, the center, Cody Glass, who won last night from the Nashville Predators, they re-signed him. And You've got some of the former players that have played down in the AHL that were actually on that Avalanche team, but they re-signed Cody Glass from the Nashville Predators, so he's coming back. But some of these guys that are in the AHL have actually played in the AHL that were on that Avalanche team last night that won it. So getting back to my original point, when you think about trophies, the Lombardi Trophy, because football's the biggest, that's coveted. That's revered. The Lombardi Trophy is revered. It's class, it's elegance, it's simple. You know, the O'Brien Trophy, the Larry O'Brien Trophy, since they've even added to it to make it look more basketball-esque as to the symbolism of the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Guys will tour with it a little bit, but most of the guys are about the ring, okay? Football players, they're about the ring. You want the ring. Baseball, it's a different trophy with the pennants and the teams, and it's a little more frail. They don't let you touch it. When it sits there, you don't want to bust anything. The most irreverent thing I've ever seen done to that trophy was when George Costanza drove it around the parking lot in front of Yankee Stadium trying to get fired and became bodysuit man. But Lord Stanley's Cup has had babies in it that were just born. I think it's had sex upon it. It's people have drank out of it. Everything from beer to champagne to fruit punch, cocktails, margaritas. It's had salted rim going back some years when I can't remember who took it to Mexico, but they took the cup to Mexico and had the whole thing, the whole rim of that thing salted with a giant margarita, you know? Yeah, right. Kathy? Yeah. The only time the Vince Lombardi Trophy wasn't revered was with the time Tom Brady's tossing it back and forth between boats and almost dropped the thing in the drink. I agree with you there. But for the most part. So when you think about the most coveted trophy, because hockey players get rings too, but the most coveted trophy, I don't know if I could disagree with them. Right? You could say the PGA Championship or the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open has that big giant cup. But golfers aren't as crazy, we'll say, as some of the hockey players, as we know. Because every hockey player on a team gets it for a certain amount of time. Whether it's to take home
the claret jug gets there.
Well, the claret jug is no.
Just because Europeans are kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine. Maybe they pour some tea out of it, but I think that's about the extent of it. But I don't picture golfers getting crazy. But we've seen all kinds of things happen to that cup, haven't we?
Yeah. How about the only point of contention I can bring to this topic? How about Reggie Bush's Heisman?
I forget. What did he do to it? Well, it had to get given back.
Yeah, it was taken. It was vacated.
Yeah.
That's probably the trophy that people would want more than.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Can't disagree, though.
But yeah, I mean, when you think about it in that realm, I'd have to agree. That's probably the most coveted trophy in all of sport. You know, you don't see teams doing things to an NCAA championship trophy, which, by the way, kudos to Ole Miss for winning the Baseball College World Series. One of the last 4 teams in, and then to win it all. Nice job. They got hot at the right time. They were not picked to win it by any stretch of the imagination, and they did. So kudos to them. But I started thinking about it. I thought, you know, what trophy is more coveted than Lord Stanley's trophy as far as the story and lore that goes along with it? And I don't think I could rival that. I don't know. I start to think about anything that has a cup to it. Maybe the Ryder Cup. Maybe, because that gets a little crazy. Golfers get a little nuts. You know, oh my God, they're going to serve white wine with meat. So, other than that, I don't know. But I think John Greenberg's right. I have to go with him on this. Wholeheartedly. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you are about to put new windows or doors in your home, stop what you're doing right now. Stop what you're doing. Think about this. Pella, 6 different lines. They have 2 different lines of the vinyl windows, 1 line of Impervia, and 3 different lines of wood, from contemporary to traditional. Okay? Now think about this. They have different innovations. They have the roll screen, the slider window, the new screen they came out with that allows even more light in your home now. They've got all of that. They can match your home's exterior, your home's interior. They can let you pick out the hardware. It'll all be to your liking. And it was voted the most valuable window to put into your home to make your home even more valuable. Per dollar, per window, per money. You know what I'm talking about. There's no and plus they're warranted. They'll come out free in-home consultation, free. They'll come out to your house. They'll measure 2 or 3 times. Let you pick everything out. Are you sure? Yeah. Okay. Sign here. Great. Sign it. Then they'll come back out. They'll measure again just to make sure everything's right. And then they send that order in. And they will custom manufacture those windows, custom assemble those windows. And when they're ready, they'll schedule it for your installation. And they will come out and custom install it. They'll clean it up. They'll get it all ready to go. They'll warranty the installation, warranty the windows, and you will be absolutely thrilled. Not only at the beautification of your home, but the economical factor as well. Go to PellaWI.com. That is PellaWI.com and see for yourself. Again, PellaWI.com. That's PellaWI.com. Or call them 855-PELLA-WI. 855 Pella WI. And if you don't want to finance them, no problem. Get $250 off per window. And if you're upgrading to a Pella Innovative Easy Slide Series, take $400 off per window. How about that? How about that? Not a bad way to go. Call 855-PELLA-WI today or go to PellaWI.com and have a beautiful, energy-efficient Pella windows installed right now. 0% financing for 4 years. That's the deal this month. Go to PellaWI.com. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show is next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Thunder is back, and you don't want to miss it. June 30th through July 3rd. It's the NASCAR Cup Quick Trip 250 and the Xfinity Series Henry 180. For tickets, go to roadamerica.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program, Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Glad you're with us. Hey, if you're out and about in the Milwaukee area, whether it's checking out a Brewers game sometime or maybe the upcoming weekend, you're heading down to Summerfest, do not forget, you got to stop at the best place that there is as far as wings and food and such goes. That is our friends at Stenny's. Best wings you're ever going to stick in your grill, by far. It is like Cheers of Milwaukee. Plus, they run shuttles to the Brewers games. They run shuttles to Summerfest. You can just stop down there, drop your car off, have a beverage, have a couple things to eat, head over to Summerfest, head to a Brewers game, enjoy yourself, come back. And by then, you're good to go. And then you just drive on home. It is the best experience there is. That's our friends over there at Stenny. Second and National, Walker's Point, and tell Ryan and that great staff down there we said hi. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. Jeff says, hey, unit, great show. The wind followed us from Minocqua. Can't fish. Going to be out tomorrow out in Huron, Ohio. See you in Tomahawk come September. There you go. See you in Tomahawk. Good stuff from our buddy Jeff. Took a nice picture, too. Like that. Our buddy Steve says, good afternoon. Good day, Bill. It was good to see the Brewers have a winning homestand and to bust one open yesterday. We were in my truck during the second inning and left Menominee Falls to head back to Ridgefield, and the Brewers were still batting when we arrived home. Great listening to Bob Uecker. He made a comment that I thought it could have been a dig on Counsell after Peterson's bunt when he said, see, it does work. Interesting. I really don't care. There you go. Ben, Uecker says, see, it does work. Just throwing it out there. That was a good play. There you go. Let's hope they split with Tampa. He says get 2 out of 3 sweep of the Pirates. As far as the Ices are concerned, I remember being them sold at Kmart back in the day. Yes, Kmart was the main retailer of Ices at the time. Good luck with the procedure on Friday. Hopefully it's going to make the back better. I got one next Friday, and I've got a procedure that's upcoming this Thursday. I just don't know at what time. So I know Ben and the gang have been on standby, hanging out. You and our buddy Grant. on standby. Ebo as well. So we'll see. See what happens. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. This one, this one's a little bit weird. This is from Mark. Oh no! You know what? I am not getting into the. I'm not getting into the political debates and justices and rulings and such. I already made my quick observation. That was about the extent of it. Just an FYI. People are crazy. This is from Jimmy. By the way, he says the NBA regular season odds to win the MVP next year: Luka Doncic, Joel Embiid, and then Giannis. Kevin Durant is fourth. Nikolai Jokic is seventh, or is fifth, I should say. Excuse me, fifth. Steph Curry is sixth. Ja Morant seventh. Jason Tatum eighth. Trae Young is ninth, and Kawhi Leonard is 10th. LeBron James not in the top 10. How about that? He's 11, followed by Damian Lillard, Devin Booker, Zion Williamson, and on down from there. Do you think even Zion Williamson plays? I admit, I'll go back to Zion Williamson, because I said when he came out, I didn't think he was going to be anything. And then he played, and he started to show me, yep, he can get it done. He was starting to become impressive. And then he just can't stay healthy. Do you think Zion Williamson ever amounts to anything in the NBA, Ben?
I do. I think he'll be a fine player. He'll be a good player coming up. But he'll have like a 3-4 year stretch. He'll finally, keep the weight good and show signs of maybe he was worth the first overall pick. I don't think he can keep it up for more than 6 years. I'll say that.
I don't either. By the way, Point Cinema Theaters in Madison. There you go. That's where ices are still sold. How about that? Pat Heffling telling us that.
I might have just been there.
Yeah.
Missed it.
Yep. This one's from Sloan, who says, would you consider the Masters green jacket a trophy? I would. Now, the actual trophy for the Masters never leaves the clubhouse. The actual trophy for the Masters, you hoist it and you give it back. They put your name on it. It goes back into their clubhouse. The green jacket, I think you get one that stays at the clubhouse and another one that you get to take with you, but for a certain amount of time. They're very particular about that. I don't know if you get to keep it. I don't know. It's a great question. But would I consider the green? Well, yeah, I would consider it a trophy. Yes. I would consider the green jacket a trophy. Absolutely. I don't know what all has been done in a green jacket. I would have to figure that at some point, if a green jacket were won, somebody is doing the funky nasty in a green jacket. Maybe they're wearing nothing but the green jacket. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ben, you would probably do that, right?
I was going to say Phil Mickelson has 3 of them. So,
yeah. But I don't know if you're allowed to keep them.
Oh, I think you do.
You do keep the green. I know you don't keep the trophy. That I do know. But are you allowed to? For whatever reason, I always thought it had to hang in your locker, in the champions' lockers. I don't know. I'm probably wrong. I do know I'm 100% sure that the trophy itself, I think you can get a replica made if you choose, but that trophy stays, the original trophy stays in the clubhouse. But I don't know about the green jacket. I thought you were allowed to keep it for a period of time, and then you had to take it back. It had to stay in the club. But I don't know for sure. But I'll tell you this. If I won the Masters, I would be wearing nothing but the Masters jacket and golf shoes. That's it. Just throwing it out there. That night would be party. You better believe it. Maybe that's the reason I'm not a good golfer. Because if I ever got really good, I would disgrace every piece of tradition that when it comes to winning championships that would probably be held. 877-867-67. Ben, am I late for a break? I think I am, aren't I?
Yeah, we need one more.
Yeah, we need one more. Okay, we got to take a break. I'm woefully late for this break. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's all coming up right after this.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
We all love a Wisconsin success story. And if you're in Humburg, Wisconsin, you have to visit one. Maybe you're a steak lover or a connoisseur of ribs or chops, or you just want to visit a generational family farm. Check out my friends at Scholze Family Beef. They have a good old-fashioned farm store right there on site. You can drive up in the car, the truck, or even the UTV and just walk on in. That's the Scholze Family Farm in Humburg, Wisconsin. Or if you want to place an order from home, go to ScholzeFamilyBeef.com. That's SCHOLZE, FamilyBeef.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Kevin says, thanks for the mental picture. That's one I didn't need to see on a Monday. I get it. Nothing but, the green jacket and a pair of golf shoes. That's the way to go. Good stuff. Let's see here. 877-867-1670. Give us a shout. No, that's not the guy who employs the staff behind the plate during the Woodruff rehab game, Ben. This is the Northwoods League, not the single A division. Yeah, different.
That's not the Timber Rattlers.
This is the guy that's with the say the Wausau Woodchucks or the Madison Mallards. All of those teams that are in the Northwoods League. Not the minor leagues of baseball, but the Northwoods League that plays here in the state of Wisconsin and just shortly beyond the borders. There you go. We got another hour yet to go. Looking forward to it. Hang in there on this beautiful weather-wise Monday. Oh, my God. Get outside and enjoy that if you haven't already. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michael Show next.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers have first place in the NL Central to themselves again. That's after they finished off Toronto yesterday with a 10-3 win to take 2 of 3 from the Blue Jays. Milwaukee fell down 3-0 in the first inning as Chichi Gonzalez gave up a 3-run homer. But the Brewers answered in the bottom of the inning with a 2-run shot from Rowdy Tellez. They weren't done, though, as they scored 6 more runs in the second, including another 2-run homer from Tellez. Milwaukee would cruise from there, and manager Craig Counsell pointed to Tellez's first homer in turning the tide.
But it just puts you right back in the game. So Rowdy's homer just puts us right back there, and it's a ball game. And Chichi was good. He was good for 3 innings and got us to a good point we felt with a rested bullpen that we could be a little aggressive with the guys, and they all did a great job. So, but the offense was the story today, and they were awesome.
Tellez had 4 RBI. Willie Adames had 3 hits and scored twice. 7 different guys had at least 1 RBI. The win pushed Milwaukee to a game up on St. Louis in the division. Crews off today, but will open a series in Tampa tomorrow. They will do so without Hunter Renfroe. He was placed on the IL with a calf strain yesterday, his second stint on the IL this year.
Fleet Farm is your automotive headquarters. Stop in and find everything you need to keep your vehicles running smoothly. From fluids to batteries, filters, parts, and more. Right now, when you buy 3 select Cooper tires, you get the 4th free. Plus, get up to $70 back after rebate. And don't forget, you can get 4 cents off each gallon of gas at your local Fleet Farm Fuel Center after any in-store purchase.
Well, NBA free agency gets underway Thursday night. Serge Ibaka and Wesley Matthews among Milwaukee's free agents. Guard Pat Connaughton exercised his player option to stick around, while the team is reportedly expected to retain forward Bobby Portis, who will be a free agent after declining his player option. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heilprin.
Hour number 4, and we are glad you're with us. Thanks, as always. Bill Michael Show, we continue on. Speaking of the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers from last hour, Ben, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, great picture of Woodruff and the grip that he has on the baseball in the Timber Rattlers jersey and hat. Did you see that?
No.
I'd have that thing blown up and taken over and see if he's not going to sign it at some point. It's not a bad one. The most obscure. I actually have the most, do you collect autographs at all?
I used to a little bit.
I don't like I used to. I mean, when I first got into this business, first of all, you learn you don't ask for autographs. The only time I ask for autographs is usually at Super Bowl, and that's because we put a helmet on the table, everybody signs it, and we auction it off at a couple of different charity events. So I don't even ask for myself. But I've got the unique autographs that I have are on weird things. Like Bob Uecker signed a fishing lure at his tournament for me one time. So I've got a Uecker signed fishing. It's a, depending on how you say it, a Rapala or Rapala fishing lure. I've got that signed by Bob Uecker. I've got at his golf tournament a golf ball signed by Ray Allen. I've got a record, a 12-inch Flow Rida LP signed by Shaq. And as we all know, Shaq is the Diesel DJ, you know. So I've got unique things. So how would it be to get a Wisconsin Timber Rattler picture or hat or jersey signed by Brandon Woodruff, who had to do a rehab game there? That'd be kind of cool, right?
It is a cool jersey, I'll say. I like how the numbers have the theme.
Yeah, I love the Timber Rattler stuff. They've given me a couple of different pullovers that I'll wear from time to time on the show. But I think that's kind of cool. What's the most unique thing that you can that you have signed by an athlete or by a celebrity or what have you? The most unique thing that you have signed. I think that's pretty cool, actually. I have a personalized autographed football from Bar, because I don't have a ton of stuff. I have a personalized autographed football signed by Bart Starr. And years ago, I don't know if anybody's going to remember this or not, because it was such an old sitcom. And every time I say I'm from Cincinnati originally, people go, "Oh, WKRP." I do have an old WKRP in Cincinnati. It was made to look like a Cincinnati Reds jacket, but it says WKRP. I have that, but it's signed by Sparky Anderson, who used to manage the Cincinnati Reds. And Sparky signed that. God, he came on our program. Oh, man, he came on our program back in the late 90s, mid 90s, and signed it for myself and a couple of the guys that worked at the station. So I got a couple of things that were signed before I left town by the Cincinnati Bengals, because we helped, as far as the radio station goes, perpetuate the ability for them to get their word out about the stadium issue. So they built 2 stadiums, both the Great American Ballpark and Paul Brown Stadium. So we helped with that, and they signed some stuff for us. Then they signed some radio station T-shirts and hats and all that kind of stuff. But what's the most unique thing that you have signed by a star that would not pertain to that star, so to speak? Could you figure, you get a basketball signed by Shaq or a basketball signed by Ray Allen or a jersey or something. But I've got a golf ball and a record album signed by those two guys.
When I was young, I may have been 6 or 7. I tried to get a gum wrapper signed by Rafael Palmeiro. To which he did not oblige.
He did
I think
not.
It was pre.
When you say tried, I assume that it was unsuccessful.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, in a scheming move, my dad held me out as the cute little kid. I was like 6 years old, to try to get Palmeiro to throw a ball over. But we had just gotten this gum, and I had a pen. I was like, "Rafael, come here," and he didn't do it. Which I equate to him taking steroids and being somewhat of a cheater.
Right. Yeah. Oh no, I get it. Yeah. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Well, this one's from Jesse, who says he's got an autograph from Ozzy Albies, and it's on a Taco Bell taco wrapper. Okay. Oh, he was the guy that actually, what was it, a steal? He stole a base? So everybody got the free Dorito Locos taco? Is that what it was, I think? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that why you got it? Because I'm thinking, what the hell does that mean? He's not that famous, but I think that's what it was. Because he was the guy that I think if there was a player that stole a base, everybody got free tacos. The Dorito taco from Taco Bell. So yes, that's what it was. He says, yes, that's what it was. Last year. Oh, okay. Well, that is kind of cool then. There you go. You get a taco wrapper signed by Ozzy Albies. Nice. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. What's the most unique thing? Now, I don't know how I got on this topic, but what's the most unique thing that you've ever had signed? I just think it's kind of cool. Just an interesting type of topic. Dan says, I have a canvas of a picture I took with Ryan Braun and my then 5-month-old daughter from spring training that he signed last year, the day before the farewell speech. Oh, that's cool. That's kind of cool. That's different. And that's more personalized too, which is really neat. This is from Art, who says, I have a hockey puck and it's signed by A.J. Dillon. Why a hockey puck? Was that like the only thing you had in your pants pocket or what? Because as far as I know, A.J. Dillon has never done anything with the Admirals. Maybe he did something with the Green Bay Gamblers? Maybe he did something with the Gamblers. Brandon says, I have a baseball signed by A.J. Dillon. He did it when he threw out the first pitch at American Family Field this year. I was there for that. Awesome. Now that's different because he's a football player. I like that. That's kind of cool. That's neat. 877-867-1670 if you want to hit us up. Just kind of, you're just flying off the grid there for a couple of minutes, so I apologize for getting too deep down the road, but I thought it was interesting. So there you go. This is from Art, who says, do you think that the Lakers are going to be the team that actually brings Kyrie Irving in? And do you think it actually adds much to that team and they become a legitimate threat? I don't. I don't. I think that there is too many. Again, it goes back to you're signing up. Now, Kyrie Irving is still a good player. But again, you're signing a player with an ego that's going to have to coexist. There's only one basketball to go around. You're still on somewhat of an aging team. You don't have a lot of capital to be able to send back in return. And that's pretty much your move. It's Kyrie, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. And Anthony Davis and LeBron have not proven over the last couple of years that they can stay healthy for an entire season, nor completely be ready for the postseason. It's just another grasping of the straw to see if they can actually do something. But I just don't think it's going to pan out. Let's go to the phone calls. Let's talk to Tom. Tom, welcome to the program, The Bill Michaels Show. What's going on, man?
Hey, I don't actually own this, but I've seen it. A buddy of mine back in the 80s was playing poker one night with a gentleman by the name of Pete Rose. And Pete was a little short and signed a bar napkin for a $100 IOU.
Really? And he's got it?
Yeah, he's got it framed.
Oh, my goodness. That's not a bad way to go. I wonder if it's worth more than that now. Did he sign it Pete Rose HOF IOU?
It says it's IOU and it's Pete Rose's signature, and then something else is at the end of it. I don't know exactly what some little squiggle at the end.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah, very cool. I like that. Now, Pete signed a lot of things because Pete will hawk it for anything at that point, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that was just post his coaching days.
Okay.
He was just playing poker, but only thing I've got that's somewhat unique is back in, I think I was in high school yet, and Bart Starr was the coach of the Packers, and being a dumb little kid, I sent a play in to him, through the mail, and I got a nice letter back with his signature on it. Thank you for being a supportive fan. This is kind of with his actual signature on it, which I've still got that framed at home. I think it's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, that's
cool. He actually responded back.
Oh man, that's nice. Like that. Good story, man. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Talk to you soon. There you go. That's our buddy Tom. This one's from Michelle, who says, my dad has an autographed banjo from Andy Griffith. We're kind of sticking in the sports vernacular here, but because Andy Griffith, correct me if I'm wrong, never played the banjo. He played the guitar. So that, I mean, I guess that's unique in that sense. You are correct. All right. Well, there you go. Beverly says, my dad had Aaron Rodgers autograph his Escalade. He signed his car? How do you keep that good? How does that not wear off? Or did he sign it on the inside? That I would love to know. Like, I know, like on motorcycle tanks, I've seen Willie G and Bill Davidson and such. They've autographed motorcycles, and people have taken it to dealerships to have them like lacquer over it or clear coat over it, so it never fades, never goes away. But how do you if you sign a car? I guess you could do the same thing to it. What the hell? So your dad had what is he just walking, past something? Or I mean, your dad didn't drive his car into Lambeau Field in the parking garage or the parking lot where the players park. That's kind of cool though. That's different. She says he was reluctant to sign it because it was not a Ford truck. I get it. Because Aaron Rodgers, for a time being, was sponsored by Ford and Ford trucks. I get it. Cool. Joshua says, I've got a signed picture of Reggie White coming out of a dugout at County Stadium. My parents are in the background. We have the gold package season tickets, and our seats were right behind the dugout. So Reggie signed that picture? That's cool. Oh, my God. Brentley says, my aunt got her boobs signed by 2 different band members of Poison. See, I've always wondered that. Why anybody would have anybody sign a body part. The only time I've ever seen it actually become cool, if you want to call it that, is a buddy of mine was dating a girl who had Ken Griffey Jr. sign her boob. She then went to the tattoo parlor and had them ink over the actual signature. So forever, she would have the authentic signature of Ken Griffey Jr. on her boob. I can't imagine me ever liking anyone enough to have their signature anywhere on my body to where it would then become tattooed permanently. Ben, can you think of anyone that you would have sign any part of your body and then have it turned into a tattoo?
No. I wish I had something funny to respond to that, but no.
I never would do that. I can't imagine that. I will say in my illustrious career, dating back to 1992, getting into this business until today, I have signed 1 boob in my life. That I will say. And it happened at the old Brett Favre Steakhouse. There you go. At the Brett Favre Steakhouse in Green Bay. The lady was completely intoxicated. I said, are you sure? Her husband then encouraged me to do so.
Did you sign your name or Brett Favre's?
I signed my name, and she wanted me to write The Big Unit on it. So I wrote that, and she thought she was she was a very nice fan, we'll say. She thought she was having a heart attack until I moved my foot and I realized I was standing on her nipple. There you have it. Go ahead and take a quick break. More of the Bill Michaels Show next.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Wisconsin isn't snobby, snooty, or pretentious. It's Midwestern charm at its finest. And that's exactly what Forgotten Fire Winery in Peshtigo is all about. Fun in a bottle without the attitude. You can find their full wine and cider lineup in their tasting room or in liquor and grocery stores throughout the state. The winery is a great place to get away for wine and cider tastings, great live music, and private events all year long. Remember, any time is a great time for Forgotten Fire wines and ciders. Wisconsin wine made from Wisconsin people.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back. A lot of weirdness. A lot of weirdness. Alex says, my girlfriend had her boobs and rear ends signed by Brett Favre down at Taylor's years ago. Taylor's was kind of the hangout back then, downtown Milwaukee. This is from Jamie, who says, my local band was playing at a pub. We were outloading. After the gig, Giannis walked by and signed the back of my guitar. Well, that's cool. I like this. See, there's a story there. You're out there just getting rid of your stuff, putting your stuff back in the truck or the van. Suddenly you see him walking by. You really don't have anything. You're like, Giannis, here you go. And that's cool. That's kind of neat. Ken said, I was in Cincinnati and had my big boy bank signed by Johnny Bench. It was during the reunion of the Big Red Machine. Jason, I was at the Wisconsin State Fair years ago, and one of the singers from Alabama was walking by. Didn't know who he was at the time, and he ended up signing one of the papers that I had from a funnel cake. You don't even know who it is. You're like, can I have your autograph? It could have been even just some dude with a beard walking around. You're having him sign funnel cake wrappers. What the hell is wrong with you? Now that's stupid. I like it though. This is from Jamie, who says Mike Ditka once signed a bottle of wine. Mark says I have Schilling's baseball glove. Signed by Randy Johnson. Was the year they won the World Series. Schilling sold off his glove, and I'd seen Randy Johnson at an autograph signing, had him sign it. So it has the signature from Rawlings on the glove of Curt Schilling, while it has the written signature of Randy Johnson. Well, that's cool. That's different. I don't know if I'd have enough. Well, then again, what the hell do I know? Do your thing. If he signed it, good for you, man. That's kind of a quality piece of memorabilia right there. I like that. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. This one's from Mike, who says, I got a baseball cap signed by George W. Bush that he signed at our office in Eau Claire during the 2000 campaign. That's kind of neat. Sean says, does anybody remember when Sports Illustrated used to have an ad to send to sports cards and get them signed back in the mid-90s? Still waiting for my Vinny Testaverde signed card. Think I'll still be waiting? I think so. I think so. Yeah. I think so. Probably not going to get that back. I don't know if I'd hold my breath for a long period of time, but just an FYI. Nancy says, I've got an umbrella signed by Inji Chun. Inji Chun. Didn't she just win the women's PGA Championship or U.S. Open, Ben?
She did. It was a wild finish.
Because, what was the girl's name? She collapsed.
Lexi Thompson.
Lexi Thompson just went down the crapper, down the stretch. I did see a little bit of that. I got to admit, I didn't watch a ton. But, and wasn't Lexi Thompson, didn't she get fined for slow play?
Yeah, she's been always in bad graces of the rules officials, but she is physically unable to make 2-foot putts. It's rather remarkable.
Huh.
Like they don't even touch the hole.
That's that's she just and she got fined. What was it? A couple of grand, I think she got fined for slow play. Here's the thing. I understand because there was a lot of excuses being made. Well, she's in the last group. Yeah, but here's my argument to that. Say you're in group 5 or group 10 or maybe 3 groups ahead of her. 3 groups ahead of her, you had to keep pace. Where her group, her pairing did not. So they didn't have to keep, you would give them somewhat of an unfair advantage if they're allowed to take longer looks at their shot than those that are allowed to go before them. So I understand they're in the last pairing, but that doesn't change things. And it took, correct me if I'm wrong, did I see 5 hours and 46 minutes for pairings, for a pair of players to play a round of golf? 5 hours and 46 minutes? And you keep talking about how you want to grow the game? Oh my God. I could mow my yard, do my grocery shopping, paint my house, make a cocktail out back, maybe work out, and still be done in time to see the last couple of holes of the Women's PGA Championship. No, that's awful. There's no way. 5 hours and 46 minutes it took the last pair to play 18 holes. I've been in golf tournaments.
Trio, for the record.
It was a trio?
Still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
but
still, there's 5 hours and 46 minutes. Come on. I've been in scrambles in golf tournaments and golf outings that have taken less time. And that's a bunch of drunk dudes. Now, granted, you're hitting best shot, don't get me wrong, but that's a bunch of drunk dudes. Anything that takes more than 5 hours to play golf is drudgery. It's awful. It should be about 4 hours and maybe 15 to 20 minutes tops to play a round of golf, even if you're a foursome. If it takes you 5 hours and 46 minutes, quit the game. Quit the game. Just get out of it. But she got fined a couple of grand. But yeah, man, that's crazy. But an umbrella signed by In-Ji Chun. There you go. Her third career major victory. How about that? Let's do this. By the way, Eric says, my dad ran into Peyton Manning at a restaurant in Hawaii for the Pro Bowl, and the only thing he could find for him to sign was my son's 8th grade picture, which my son still has. Now, that's kind of cool. That's really cool. I like that. Peyton Manning pretty much signs anything, too. I've seen him at different events, and another one is Cal Ripken Jr. He'll sign till nobody's left. He's such a good guy, man. He is such a good dude. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Boondocks Barbecue, Burgers, and Brews. Great place to go. I love it out there. The patio that they just finished off is extremely cool. Huge bar. Sit at the bar, watch a game, have some really good food, grab a beverage. A great place to ride to out there in Oconomowoc. No reason not to head out to Boondocks Burgers, Barbecues, Brews, all that kind of good stuff. And not to mention the staff is just a hoot. They're just so much fun. Very, very nice people. And Tom and his entire crew do such a great job. Check out Boondocks. Boondocks Barbecue and Brews. Boondocks Barbecue and Brews. Got Burgers and Brews, I should say. Stop out and see them because they're just good people out there on County Road K in Oconomowoc. Tell them we said hi. Let's do this when we come back. Couple more things to kind of get to. What was I going to talk about here real quick? I had one more thing on the top of my... this is what I wanted to do. The Green Bay Packers secondary. I've been talking about them being one of the best secondaries in all of football. Some will go, maybe not. I've now got emphatic evidence that they are. I'll tell you how. Stay tuned. A lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's all coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
One of the worst things that you can hear, you have cancer. The worst is when you hear the words, your child has cancer. When a child is diagnosed with cancer, it changes their world. Sometimes they can't even do things that they really love, like playing soccer, riding a bike, going to prom, attending school. Children with cancer spend a lot of time away from others. Time in the hospital, treatments, tired, nauseous, and they feel isolated. That's where Special Spaces Wisconsin steps in. They provide these children with a special space where they can not only sleep, but they can play, they can heal, they can spend time away from the challenges of their illness. It's a customized bedroom designed just for them. How about a princess castle or a pirate ship or a sports-themed bedroom? They transform that child's existing bedroom into a place that only he or she can imagine. A place for them just to be a kid. This effort is done with teams of dedicated volunteers and sponsors, just like our friends from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and all the community partners. If you'd like to find out more or to donate, go to specialspaces.org. That is specialspaces.org.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. Hey, I've been telling you for a long time, and it stands and holds true over time, and that is the fact that the Connecticut water softening system, the best that I've ever had. Still have it in my house. I have now hooked it up to the hose in my garage, so when I wash my car, it doesn't leave water spots, which is even better. But the Connecticut water softening system with reverse osmosis, absolutely fantastic. If you're looking for more information or a new water softening system that matters, your water tastes good, no more calcium deposits, not using nearly as much detergent when it comes to your laundry or maybe your dishwasher, whatever it happens to be, go to h2theletterO doctors.com. That's the water doctors, h2theletterO doctors.com. And John Atlee and his staff, they give back, and they give back to veterans through the Custom Canine Service Dog Academy. If you want to find out more, go to Water Doctors. Go to the Water Doctors, H2, the letter O, Doctors, H2ODoctors.com, or just call John directly, 262-549-7733. And I'm telling you, he's a good dude, and he is a bourbon and whiskey and rye and all that kind of good stuff connoisseur. So you can even talk with him a little bit about that. Not that he's going to show up and start drinking with you at your job. Who knows? Maybe he does, but Again, call them 262-549-7733. Do what I did and take my word for it. I love this Kinetico water softening system. So I have got now from Pro Football Focus, they made its position clear on coverage versus pass rush debate for team building purposes. Nothing on the defensive side of the football translates better to points allowed than a secondary that is not good. That means if a team expects to field a top 3 defense in the NFL, they better have at least a top tier unit on the field in the secondary. Okay? So, if you're going to look at the top secondaries in all of football, Ben, where do you think the Packers rank via Pro Football Focus?
Ooh, at least top 3, I would think.
They are sitting at number 4. Number 4. The Packers earned their 8th best coverage grade of any team in the NFL last season, despite not having Jair Alexander, the league's highest paid corner, playing only 227 snaps all year. He is not only the highest paid corner, but also the highest graded one that he's had in the last full season. Adding that to an already top 8 unit, a scary thought for the opposing offenses. When you've got Jair and Eric Stokes, the nickel corner would be Rasul Douglas, your safety Adrian Amos, and your other safety Darnell Savage Jr. They say if Alexander returns and has the same season he had a couple of years ago, this could be a top 2 ranked defensive secondary in all of football. Number 1, Baltimore. And with Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters back there, hard to argue with that, with Kyle Fuller being your nickel, Marcus Williams at one safety, Chuck Clark being at the other. Tampa Bay comes in second. One of the most experienced secondaries in the NFL, to one with 4 starters still on rookie deals, which is a large part of the Buccaneers trying to kind of run it back from a roster building perspective when their ability to hit on so many players in their defensive secondary the past couple of years, allowing them to allocate money in other areas. They've got Carlton Davis, Jamel Dean, the nickel Sean Murphy Bunting, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Mike Edwards are the 2 guys manning the safety position back there. Cleveland, believe it or not, sitting at number 3. With Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome the second. And you got Greedy Williams back there at the corner, also playing more nickel than anything. And then your safeties, John Johnson and Grant Delpit. Number 5 is Miami. Number 6 is Buffalo. Number 7 is New Orleans. The Chargers come in at number 8. And then you get into what they call the tier 2. So the, quote, minor question marks in your secondary would be the Rams. The ranking would look a lot different without Jalen Ramsey factoring in. The Rams secondary would be closer to a tier 5 than a tier 2 without him. That's just how valuable Jalen Ramsey is to that group. They still have Jordan Fuller at the safety and Taylor Rapp and Troy Hill, but David Long Jr. is alongside Ramsey. Still a question mark there. Cincinnati at number 10, Tennessee at 11, Denver at 12, Philadelphia at 13 with Darius Slay and company back there. And if you're going to be strong anywhere in the secondary, having 2 potential shutdown corners on the outside trumps all with Bradbury and Slay. Kansas City at 14. Then at 15, the units that are kind of on the rise right there in the middle, Carolina, San Francisco, New York. Minnesota sitting at number 18. The Vikings have quite a doctimus mix of veteran talent with rookie top 50 picks. The biggest worry, though, is that at the age, once considered elite players at their respective positions, can 33-year-old Harrison Smith and 32-year-old Patrick Peterson still be relied upon? You have Cameron Dantzler back there, and the nickel would be Andrew Booth. Jacksonville at 18. 20 would be the Giants. 21 then is Dallas. And then the teams with basically really craptastic tier 4 and tier 5 talent is Atlanta at 22, Indianapolis at 23, Washington at 24, Detroit, who continues to try to build back there. They just can't find. They still have Mike Hughes, Tracy Walker over at safety, but they're at 25, New England 26, Arizona 27, Pittsburgh 28, Las Vegas 29, and then just awful secondaries is Seattle at 30, The Chicago Bears had 31. And then last but not least, the only team we did not mention, that's the Houston Texans. Derek Stingley Jr. back there at corner, along with Steve Nelson, a yawner. Desmond King, who's another, kind of go by the wayside. They have Eric Murray and Jalen Petrie back there, but just two rookie journeymen that just never really locked on. So that's just a bad secondary. But yeah, the Green Bay Packers, number 4 overall rank-wise in the NFL, secondary-wise, coming into this season. I think that's fair because you don't know what you're going to get back. Second year of Eric Stokes. You don't know how you're going to get back the recovered shoulder of Jair Alexander. Rasul Douglas had a tremendous season in Green Bay last year for what little time he was here. Now you want to see if he can duplicate that all over again and extend it into an entire season playing for the Packers. And obviously you're still solid back there with Adrian Amos and Darnell Savage. But you just, if Stokes takes a step forward, Alexander returns to form, and Douglas gives you what he gave you last year, whew, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine. Can't imagine how good they could possibly be. In the meantime, going back to ESPN and the Bleacher Report and company and talking about the association, the Nets apparently are prepared to lose both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, according to Wendy. Brooklyn would rather lose both than go through what they went through last season. That's how much this crap and this ego grates on you. They're kind of like, you know what? Screw it. We would rather just say, the hell with it, and go back to losing rather than be a part of this head case travesty that they had to go through. Think about that. Think about that. Brooklyn is prepared to say, get the hell out, both of you, rather than deal with the egos of both of those dudes. Now, here's the question, and I don't think they can do it anyway, but here's the question. What would happen if the Lakers would trade for both? And you'd have KD, Kyrie, LeBron, and Anthony Davis on the floor at the same time, and then just throw in somebody. Would they be considered a lethal team in the West, or would they be considered too big of ego, too many injuries for them ever to come close at sniffing a championship? Ben?
I mean, they would be considered like a dominant team entering.
Well, the 4-letter network we know would firmly clamp lips to ass. We all know that.
Right.
But would they ever be, would they be a legitimate threat, or do we just look at them going, just go away, guys. You're just over the hill. You're old. Move on.
I think they'd be a threat, but if I had to take the Warriors, this Warriors team against them in a series, I'd take the Warriors.
In a heartbeat.
They're a real basketball team.
In a heartbeat. I agree with that.
And then the Nets, the Nets still have Ben Simmons. They can go build around him.
I forgot about the almighty that is Ben Simmons. You are correct. You are correct. 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, feel free to go ahead and do so. But yeah, how about that? And apparently the Lakers are the only team interested in possibly having Kyrie Irving. So when you talk about doing a sign and trade, if you're the Lakers, how much do you give? You know? How much do you give when nobody else wants the guy? That's the question. How much would you give to have him if nobody else wants him? Think about that for a moment. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. It's a good thought. If I'm the Lakers, I don't give up the farm for that guy. He's going to bring you headaches. And on top of it, nobody else wants him. Nobody else wants him. Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break. We're going to come back, wrap things up on this Monday edition of the Bill Michaels Show. Stay tuned. We got more coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Hey, reminder, coming up on Sunday, September 4th, we have our motorcycle ride benefiting Fisher House, Wisconsin. And we cannot do it without our great sponsors and a lot of great people. Our friends at Potawatomi Hotel Casino, they are sending us actual dealers to deal the poker hand at the end of this thing, which is just phenomenal. Milwaukee Brewing, which is where we're going to start. They're going to open up the brewery, do brewery tours in the morning. They're going to have some breakfast sandwiches, Bloody Mary bar, all that kind of stuff. If you want to do a little tasting, you can. They're going to have the rooftop patio bar open as well, weather permitting. And so get signed up today if you can. Get signed up today. Just go to Big Unit or Facebook.com/Big Unit Poker Run, and you can see all the information right there. Facebook.com/Big Unit Poker Run, or simply go to FisherHouseWI.org. FisherHouseWI.org and go to the events page. FisherHouseWI.org and go to the events page, and you can get signed up there. And also thanks to our friends at Growth Law protecting bikers' rights, and one of the top 20 law firms in the country. And they are bikers. They do ride. So they know exactly what it is you and I go through, and those that ride go through. So what they're saying basically is, hey, if you are interested and you by any chance, unfortunately, need help, go to growthlaw.com, GROTH, growthlaw.com. That's growthlaw.com. Hey, just Ben, did you see Top Gun Maverick by any chance?
I did a couple weeks ago.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Okay, the sequel to the 1986 blockbuster. Anyway, the movie has crossed the $1 billion mark at the worldwide box office, according to Paramount. Huge. It's only the second highest grossing film in Paramount's long history in terms of domestic figures. It's only behind. What's the other movie that grossed more than $1 billion, do you think?
Avatar.
No.
Huh. I don't know.
1997. You were a young thing back then. Titanic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Haven't seen that one.
Yeah. Titanic was a good movie. I've seen it a couple of times. Titanic was a good movie. I've always had an interest in just the Titanic. I mean, just those tragedy type things. I mean, God, even the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Every year it pops up in my timeline. Every year I read about it. Edmund Fitzgerald, obviously coming out of the Great Lakes, so it's more home here, but nevertheless. And I remember being a kid and hearing that the Edmund Fitzgerald had actually gone down, and I was in school and we studied it through the newspaper clippings and such at the time. But Maverick grossing more than $1 billion now worldwide. That's huge.
I was going to say, if we've learned anything, it's that my, movie depth is not very, I don't get very deep into all of the great movies of our society. So if there is one I do like, it should tell you enough about how good it was.
Yeah. My depth of knowledge when it comes to that is minimal. I'm not much of a movie goer, if you will. So I agree with you. But Maverick going to $1 billion. That's a lot. That's a chunk of change right there. I don't care who you are.
Miles Teller's face looked okay after that melee last summer.
Well, there you go.
Why can't that happen again? Like, it's late June.
Right.
I'm expecting some sort of vacation for Rogers, a movie star. Maybe TMZ's there. One of them gets punched in the face in the bathroom.
Right.
Why can't we get that again?
Don't know. I'd like to see it happen too. Don't know. Got it. Understand it, but don't know. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. You want to hit us up, feel free. Again, 877-867-1670. Let's see here. A couple things before we get out of here. What do we got coming up tomorrow? Tomorrow we start to preview the Brewers and the Tampa Bay Rays, as the Brewers are going to be on the road. By the way, John says, I have a piece of duct tape signed by Red Green. Do you really? Do you know who Red Green is, Ben?
Should I?
I don't know. If you're an outdoorsy, woodsy guy, I guess.
Oh, I have seen his face in many places.
Red Green.
I didn't know him by name.
Yeah. The Red Green Show from years gone by. He was actually, his real name was Steve Smith, if I'm not mistaken, but Red Green. There you go.
I also,
Piece of duct tape. Come on, man.
That's actually good. I have to go reach out to our good friends at the Green Bay Country Club because
we're coming up on that too, aren't we?
No, we passed it. It's about 7 days past. I've seen no headlines. I've seen no chatter. So I think we need to start asking the important questions of if he's coming back.
Yeah, it's time to go into that direction again. Forgot all about it. Good point. Got to do that. You're all over it.
Can't spell Ben without a big J.
What the hell? Oh, my God. So coming up tomorrow on the program, we're going to get into that. Talk some Brewers baseball, and Ben will do his brand of journalism and see if we can figure out as to whether or not Aaron Rodgers is actually signed to come back to, as we know, the Green Bay Country Club, if it just automatically renewed and if they're good to go. So hopefully that works out. So you got that going on. And in addition to that, whatever the hell else comes up, if Kyrie does a sign and trade or anything happens in the football world, the sporting world, if somebody does something disgusting that we can laugh about in the Lord Stanley Cup as the celebration continues continuously out in Colorado. So that's good. So that's really about it. That kind of takes us to the end of the day today. We had a good time today. Just kind of off the wall stuff that just happened. Off the wall. I like that. Good off the wall stuff. So there you have it. That'll do it until we speak again tomorrow, my friends. Fantastic. Thanks for your participation. Thanks for hanging in there with us. We certainly appreciate it. And we will talk again coming up in about 20 hours. Until then, time.